Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Reel Debaters podcast. I'm Michael Petrow. Hello, listener. This week on the show, I got an interview for you, part of our special feature series where we go behind the scenes and get whoever's interested in talking to me on this show. This week, I have Aaron Merke and Lauren Cochrane, the husband and wife duo. They're actors, they're comedians, and how their careers started and have continued to blossom here in Manitoba. Aaron's time doing sketch comedy, his short film that debuted last year. Lauren's work on the Hallmark channel and how insanely of a following there can be for Hallmark movies and tons of others. Their trip to Star Wars Galaxies Edge, where Aaron just so happened to run into Phil Tippit. If you know who Phil Tippit is, he's like the most famous and stop-motion animation genius on the planet. Lots of other stuff. So that's who's on the show. That's what's on the show. If you're interested and these two make you chuckle, they've both done a debate. Aaron did best heist team inspired by Ocean's 11. You got to build your own team, safecracker, a leader, a wheelman, a grease man, and all that stuff. And then Lauren did best theme park, which she built Wayne's World, literally. So go to the website, reeldebaters.ca, throw their names in. Lauren Cochrane, Aaron Merke, they're in the show notes. You'll be able to listen. So that's who's on the show. That's what's on the show. Housekeeping and events, kids. I got one of them for you. April 27th. You've probably been listening to this for the last few weeks. We will be at Little Brown Jug, 336 William Avenue, Winnipeg, Manitoba, our hometown, from 7 to 9 p.m. We're going to host our very first trivia night. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's interactive trivia. There's going to be some possible impressions, some clips, some songs, some possible dancing, maybe even a sketch or two. We might reenact something for you. Who knows? Anyways, tickets are $5. They're super cheap. We want you to have a good time, and we want you to spend more money on the beer at Little Brown Jug than you do on us. So $5 on Eventbrite right now. Up to 60 people max, kids. Tickets are on Eventbrite, 7 to 9 p.m., April 27th. You should come. FOMO sucks. And if you hear about this from somebody that they had a really good time, you're going to be like, man, I should have bought that ticket. Again, Eventbrite, website or app, that's where it is. Search the Reel Debaters Trivia Night. So that's all I got for you kids. We hope you enjoy the interview. I give you Lauren. I give you Aaron. I will cue that reel, and you enjoy the show.
Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel. Here is a motion picture film, 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs.
Welcome, everybody, to the official space section of the Charger.
What's the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Sir, you're out of order.
I show you out of order.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to the Reel Debaters. Hello, listener. I am Michael Petrow, and you are listening to a special features. If this is your first episode with us, it's plainly put, this is our interview series. This is where I bug people in Manitoba and Canada, actually anywhere for that matter that speaks English, and I say, come on the show and talk to me about what you do. Talk to me about your department. Talk to me about what it's like behind the scenes. Share your story of how you fucking got into film. And both of these lovely people have been on independently. I finally have figured out a way to get them on the show, which is have them get a babysitter.
My mom.
Yay, mother-in-law.
Yay, mom. We got Lauren Cochrane and we got Aaron Merke, the husband and wife comedy duo, acting duo, special. Like you guys, you do a little bit of everything, really.
Yeah, it's a problem.
You kind of have to, I think.
I think at one point you could just be in your department, and the way the industry is going, it's like, no, why stay in one area? Why not learn as much as you can?
Yeah.
I think it's still like, I think there's an old school thinking of that. Like I know.
In certain ways.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Tom Cruise will always jump out of planes and do nothing else.
Yeah,
I get
until
that.
he's
right?
like 95, he'll do it.
Yeah, right.
No, but I know there's some people that think like I shouldn't be doing both sides. Like I shouldn't be behind the camera and in front of the camera. Like they have an issue with it. I know there's a few people that like you shouldn't be acting
Well,
and
I
doing
think
makeup effects.
some people think on either side, you're not focusing enough on either side. So maybe
Right.
that's their
sure.
issue on it.
Right.
Okay.
But you're
So
not,
I know there's
yeah.
some, because I know they love their craft and everything, but it's like, I don't know. I got ADD. I can do them both fairly well and handle it. I'm okay. Like,
Yeah, don't tell me what I can.
This
and
was the
can't.
biggest, like the last project was like Safe Haven was the biggest test of them all.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, let's start there because
Sure.
that's like I said, what have you guys been up to? And you've been up to so many different things. So basically, listener, we're just going to jump around with all these cool things that they're doing, and it's going to stem into the acting and the behind the scenes stuff. But
Yeah.
Safe Haven, I as I mentioned, and listeners somewhat knows, I have a day job that is a vendor to the film industry, which is how I peruse all you fuckers into coming on the show because I get call lists and I'm like, okay, then I'm just going to parlay this as much as I can. And I don't even know what it's about. So let's start with what we can say because it hasn't even aired yet, really. But
It has not
I
even
love the
finished
premise of it. So
Yeah.
what is Safe Haven?
Okay. I don't know what I can say. I can say this.
Let's say what's on IMDb.
Oh yeah, you say what's on IMDb. You tell me.
Oh,
I don't even know.
okay, so
Please,
Safe
save
Haven.
me.
What I know, what research I did based off a graphic novel,
Yeah,
and it's a high school comic book artist who must uncover the truth behind some of the horrifying versions of their drawings coming to life. Is that essentially what it is?
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Absolutely.
Holy fucking on point right off the
Yeah.
hop. So you did puppeteering? Is
Well, I started off by being hired as the makeup effects.
yes.
on the
Okay.
show.
Behind and in front of the
Yeah.
camera.
So I started off that. And so as I was building, I was also auditioning. So I auditioned, and it was fairly early, but because makeup effects, we have to start so early to get things done. So I was already
You can't just show up and start
Right.
molding
No.
and
Right.
Yeah.
So
He has,
like
he was doing concepts and stuff.
yeah, doing concept art and like that kind of thing just for the project. So working on that and working on how things are going to look with the art department and with the director and the producer. So we're working on that, and so we're doing that, and then I've auditioned, and on my spare time I audition, and we put that on, and then
Are you still doing taped?
yeah, that one was at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that
All
one
right.
was at home in the shop. So
in the dungeon.
In the dungeon, yeah, yeah, man.
Or
We kinda- we
basements.
have-
basements are where you put the men, right, Lauren?
Yes. Hide them. Hide them all.
Well, I have a lab, so I have a lab in the basement, but we have a shop that's the garage, so that's where stinky stuff goes, and that's actually where our audition goes.
Yeah, we have a rule in our house because we have a daughter. No stinky stuff
Yeah.
in the basement because it gets in, the airflow.
The daughter's the only stinky thing allowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
She's
not
grown
even
out of
Aaron.
stinky.
And
She's,
yeah,
she's grown out of
she's
stinky.
out of the stinky phase, so
She's
she's
out of
good.
stinky.
She's good.
She's good. But that's where the paint booth is, and all that stuff is in the garage.
Okay.
Anyway, so one day I'm working on this because there's a lot of I guess I can say it. Can I say it? Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
There was there's tendrils in it. There's a tendril, so I'm working on that and building that
For me and listener, tendril. Or is that like a
Kind of like a tentacle
tentacle kind of thing.
Hente?
Yeah, it's kind of.
Sorry, that's my reference.
No, I get it.
snake, serpent.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
octopus,
so
yeah.
so working on that. That's what we were working on at the time, and then I'm like the director and the producer, James Seal. He was also the director of the second half. Come over and like they want to have a talk with me, and so I'm like okay, and it's a Sunday too, right?
Yeah.
So my workers weren't there. It was just me working, and I'm like, because I like the time it takes to get things done is.
And
Tentacles
he
led-
was concerned it was going to be a very serious conversation. So even me and my daughter, we went out for the afternoon to be like, I don't know what's going on, but I'll
Yeah.
leave so that
So
there's
it's
no
like,
stress.
what's going on? I don't know what's going on. So they come over and like, hey, do you think you can do both? Do you think you can do acting and do the makeup effects? I'm like, yeah, I've done it before. I didn't tell them I wasn't the lead makeup effects. I wasn't the lead at makeup effects.
just
I was
say-
builder.
You say yes, and then you
I
figure it out
said
later.
yes, yeah. So I said yes. I've done it before, which I had. Like I worked on Channel Zero.
Yeah.
I did it where I was like building in the shop, and then I was playing a character, Nathan, on season 3. So I'd done it before, but I hadn't been the guy who was applying the makeup and building the makeup, and so I was
Wearing
like,
the makeup.
wearing
and
the makeup and doing it. So I was like, yes, I can do it, and it's a fairly involved character too. He's one of the main bad guys.
Zelk? Is
Yeah,
it
Francis Selk.
Francis Selk?
Yeah. So I don't know how much I can tell. I know he's there's 2 realms, right? So, and I don't want to expose any of it.
That's
Like,
fine.
I
We
should have
can-
really talked to James before I came here. James is the creator of this project and really like fascinating, awesome dude. Like,
Tell me all about it, and I can figure this out later for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So what it is there's 2 realms where she's been in a coma, and then so one of the realms is I'm her teacher, and the other realm is I'm her nurse. So
Oh, that's
I'm
dark.
playing- yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a very.
And I'm creepy. I'm creepy as fuck.
Yeah, being the reader for his audition was
Yeah.
real gross.
I'm a real creeper. I'm
Yeah.
a real creepy
Yeah, it's gross.
horror film.
Can- okay, so as a partner
Yeah.
and as an actor,
Yeah.
how do you like?
Honestly, most of the time it does not, like, I don't want to be like, I'm fine, nothing grosses me out anymore. But
You're more well adjusted now.
yeah,
than you
like,
were.
and Aaron and I both have done characters and lots of different things. So neither one of us, I think, are very phased when the other one's doing something. I don't know. If
You're
you
more
watch
affected if I have to kiss someone or something like that.
No, you say that, but I'm really not. I just like to say that.
We have to put that on the.
But you don't
record.
like watching my reel, though.
Well, who was. Like,
There's a
need to
kissing
watch-
scene on
Dude,
my
I don't want to
earlier
watch you
reel.
kiss somebody. Come on.
You guys should all check it out. It's on my YouTube.
No,
check it
it's
out.
because this is the thing. I will clarify that. I can see it, but I don't need to watch it on repeat
No,
over and over.
would?
And that's what I
Yeah.
say. I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
it looks fine. Why are we watching this? This is weird.
But when you,
It was weird for me because I'm like, I'd never done a kissing scene. Why would you hire me to do a kissing scene before?
It's
When-
not.
So
On,
it's
it's not on Safe Haven. He's doing a kiss.
No, it was a different show. way before all this.
when you read with him, do you put do you give it like 60% into the person you're reading for,
Yeah, like,
or
I
are you
think-
really locked in? And then it's like you guys gotta like compress after or decompress.
Like, do you mean like as the reader? Do I
Yeah.
give him something? Yeah. Like I think every actor kind of wants that to begin with. You don't like.
You need something to bounce.
Well,
off
yeah,
of.
there's nothing worse than being in an audition room and they're like, "No, please don't go. I miss you. I need you." Like you
Off
want
the page, come on.
you want something to react with, but you also don't want someone who's stealing focus in a weird way or being
Yeah.
really loud. Like they actually give you notes like that when you're taping an audition. Like make sure the reader isn't like because they're right beside the camera, so they actually have to talk a little quieter. Otherwise, they're so loud and
Well, and also having your wife as a built-in reader or vice versa
Yeah.
for both of us, it really helps because we workshop it all week long.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's like one session, get it done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
We
get to
work-
take it home and work it at
we
home
work
and
it.
work it in the morning, and,
Yeah.
and
we work it like
That's interesting. I
Yeah.
never thought
like
of it
it's not like a lot of people are like, I go,
Again.
I learn it, I
Yeah.
learn it, I go and do the audition, I'm done. For us, it's like we get it, we read it one night, we'll like read it through it, we'll
Mhm.
work on it on our own, come together. It's like, can you help me learn the lines? A lot of the
Yeah.
times I learn lines now on my feet. I don't learn them off the page anymore because that's not how my brain works.
no.
So I have to stand up and learn it. Like I have to like repeat.
And I like sometimes the way his learning style is and mine. Like if he has an audition, I'm like, okay, so do I, because it means I have to learn,
yeah.
the ins and outs of the scene to help, and then
Yeah.
usually each of us, whoever's audition it is, they present what they want, and then we'll be like, okay, do you think I should try anything differently? And they're like, yeah, why don't you try it like this? And then just to play
Well,
with it a
throw
little
things
bit.
at it because if you
Yeah.
get too static in
Yeah,
your
then it's
choices, then
stagnant.
you're stuck in the
Yeah.
audition. If a director's like,
Give it
Oh,
to me
try-
this way. Give it to me
Right.
that way.
then
Yeah.
you're stuck, and
Yeah.
you're not going to do it any differently.
No.
So
And I guess being able to do that with one person in one session, you've committed to whatever
Right.
role you're going to
Yeah.
present the character.
Right.
Where you guys on a
Right.
Monday, totally different on a Thursday.
Yeah.
because you can get
Yeah.
that. That's really you guys.
so
are
you're
dangerous.
you're working it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah,
it's
so
pretty
he,
tedious and boring.
But yeah, when he was reading for this,
Yes.
it was like there's one of the audition scenes was quite
dark.
dark, but
it got written out actually.
yeah, it was like lecherous and like leery kind of, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word,
No,
lecherous, but
absolutely.
yeah, and it and he was
What's that
really
word,
he was really into it, but it's just odd sometimes when you're just like, ugh, like just the
Who
the-
are you?
Creepy perv, basically.
and-
like lecherous is pervy.
Yeah.
Like creepy
Okay.
perv,
Like
All right.
I wasn't worried like, oh wow, Aaron's really good at being so creepy. I'm worried, but it was more like it's like if you watch it's not even necessarily a horror movie, but if you watch like a psychological or something that kind of makes you feel icky,
Yeah.
you don't really watch you shouldn't watch it over and over and over again. And because we worked them so hard, it was kind of like, whew, like it really
Comes off the page more.
yeah, and then when he had, I think it was one of his callbacks, it was a director's session on Zoom,
Oh boy.
and they had a reader provided, but he asked if I could be there, and he just kind of said like, Lauren's going to be my reader, and the casting director knew me, so he was fine with that. But yeah, and then just
It's better to have a reader in the room. To be
it
perfectly
is. You
honest.
just
I
have
don't
something
know
to
why.
bounce off of, like a connection. I
I'm not
am
gonna
about that.
read Zoom with you. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
line of sight?
Yeah, exactly.
But
man,
it's
no.
happened. I mean, we had to do it during the pandemic, like
Yeah, we
heavy
did.
pandemic, so it's a good skill to have, I guess. But
So this guy is a
Creeper.
what's it
Yeah.
like playing the big bad? Because I know you. I don't know you well, but I know both
Well, that's
of
what
you.
was nice
from-
about going to set was like everyone was like, "I'm really glad you're playing him," because they're like, "I'm like, do you know Puneet? Have you had Puneet on here?
Not yet.
You should have Puneet. She's lovely.
yeah,
Standing
the
invite.
best. She's the
Continuity.
best.
She is
Yeah.
amazing.
Send me your people.
But Puneet was like, "I'm so glad it's you and not someone who's actually," because there are actors.
Well, they have a
that are
baseline
creepy.
with you.
Well, yeah,
Right.
and the actors would feel safer with somebody that they feel safer in real life, so that you can play and explore like the creepiness of the scenes and the characters, and know that this isn't someone who
Yeah.
could actually
Yeah.
harm me off camera. You
And
know,
then
so
the lead is like a 19-year-old girl,
Yeah.
and she's lovely, but it's like you have to create a relationship where she doesn't feel creeped out anyway.
We have a Georgie Murphy.
Yeah.
The lead.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Sweetest.
And Melissa Marie Elias, also
Yeah.
Winnipegger too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we got Carl Thordesen, who
Mhm.
I've
Yeah.
seen in other stuff.
Lots of stuff. Yeah.
Wonderful guy too.
And then Bob Fraser, Josh Strait, and Jenny Stewart for pretty much above the line.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also. That's so great. I
That's
love
me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Aaron Merke is Francis.
Oh,
Zook.
there's quite a bit of Manitoba
There's a lot of
talent.
Yeah, there's
like
great.
Danica Frederick
yeah.
and Gino. And,
Gino's great.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be really exciting to have it pop out. So I'm super stoked.
I don't
I'm
want
so
to
stoked.
ruin the puppet aspect of it, and so we won't get into too much detail of how
Sure.
it works and what it. But what you and both of you work together in this.
Mhm.
Yeah,
What's puppeteering like for people who use the dialogue as their main tool?
Well,
well, these were silent puppets, so that
Yes.
was great.
Yeah.
Like, these were more of like what we talked about
Like
earlier,
articulating,
the
like-
articulating.
Like, is it like a
visuals and
Channel
stuff.
Zero kind of vibe from like the first one with those weird,
Oh.
creepy pirates that?
No,
No.
different. More of like what would you do? Trying to think of a movie that would have it, something like it. Like
okay, so the sensation you can imagine is, have you ever been, I think there's movies about it, but you like swimming in the lake and then something touches your foot?
Yes.
That kind of
Yeah.
vibe. That kind of fear that it's eliciting that.
and there's multiple ways that this is happening.
You're gonna harm children. You're gonna harm so many
Right?
16-year-olds.
Yeah.
I know, and it's made for
But
kids.
there's
right?
no
Like,
lake. I'm not
this
saying
is
it's a
made
lake.
for
Yeah, yeah,
teens. This
yeah.
is a teen
But-
show.
It's the feeling.
Yeah,
that's
that essence
inspired
of
by
it,
from
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So so Aaron asked me to be one of the puppeteers because
Yeah.
it is an actor job actually.
Sure.
So
And there's several people that were on it.
Terry Ray.
Terry Ray and
Rylan.
Rylan Gimby,
Yeah.
who helped put it together. Like, because I was so busy, I was like, I needed just someone to come in and like, can you help me just rework the tech of this? And
Sure,
like,
yeah.
it was there, but we just need to.
And are we talking like multiple people
like
running multiple
levers?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, cable mech.
Wow.
I was so stoked. That was kind of me. I kind of was like, I'm taking this on, so I put a little bit of my own cash towards it.
Zhuzh.
Yeah, because I was like, you know what, this is where I want to go. This is where I want my business to go. AA Labs Makeup Effects.
Yep.
So this is where I want my business to go. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put some money into the tech of this and making like a full
Yeah, so you can
articulated
do it on repeat.
cable
Mm-hmm.
mech.
Is that
Yeah.
Chucky's method too? Like he's I
Parts.
know,
So I think with
certain
horror
dolls.
and puppeteering,
yeah.
there's so many different variations and so many different puppets you need, right? So like for ours, Lauren did a lot of these silicone based puppets and like did wraps and like
Yeah, and some of them were like, we would shoot them.
the reverse.
They would shoot the reverse. So, and then we would use different tech because he'd make different ones in different textures and weights, and some of them were like almost like stretchy, and then some of them were more
so many.
thicker and kind of more solid. And
Could take a beating.
yeah, like a
Yeah.
rubber club almost in a way. Yeah, some
or
of them
give
had,
someone a beating.
yeah,
right?
some of them had some weight to them. So, but a couple of times,
I think we had like 10 variations,
Yeah.
approximately like seven
Yeah.
variations of those kind of puppets.
Well, and the resurgence of that part of filmmaking, like stop motion, is now getting like
and
with
practical,
practical,
and doing it
yeah.
practically is
oh
like there's ones I can't talk about it. Anyway,
That's
we'll have to
what-
talk
yeah.
about it when I come back.
Yeah,
when it comes out. Well,
this is just some juicy bits of
Yeah.
what's coming down the line for you
because I'm
guys.
so stoked how it turned out. Like there's some things that we had to like a lot of research and development on it, a lot, and so there's things like. I just have to have a shout out to Crazy Bins. Like I'm just saying,
the unofficial
like,
sponsor of
oh
Safe
man,
Haven.
because I live real close to Crazy Bin, so I'd go there and be like, okay, and I take one of one of the workers in the shop and like, let's go to Crazy Bins and
And
see
our
what we can
daughter's
find.
wagon.
And our daughter,
Like
and we
our
just go
stroller
to Crazy
wagon.
Bins and literally like
That's
some of the
amazing.
effects. Some of the effects, I bought something and I was like, I can use this. This is it. This is what we're gonna use. And I was like,
Oh,
oh my,
it looks
Crazy
amazing.
Bins. Yeah,
Yeah, when
like,
you have him back after it airs, we have to talk about that because it's so cool.
yeah,
For
it's
sure.
pretty crazy.
I'm excited for it. Like I got I didn't even really bug anybody on this one. I was like, sounds like a horror, and like horror plus horror adjacent, just a
Right.
huge fucking thing.
Sci-fi
right now.
horror kind
Yeah,
of thing, yeah.
it's making its way back, and the fact that you see big studios like Disney doing practical in Mandalorian, right? The Rancor effect,
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
right?
dude.
You just knew, your eye just went, that's practical, right?
Right.
And it's like vinyl.
Yeah.
Right, it's coming back. It's
Yeah.
making a resurgence. Pinocchio with Del Toro on Netflix.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful, and he's got another stop motion that they just contracted him for
Absolutely.
Netflix. Like,
Wow.
it's a new old style of animation.
Absolutely. Well, I just think it just lends itself to it. Like I do like special effects like computer graphics, like CGI. I do love it. Like there's a place for it. I don't like the '90s version of it.
The first version of everything sucks.
Like Anaconda, get out of here. Like get lost. But like,
well, also watching actors when like practical things on set, and they're like, oh, like you can see the light in their eyes, just be like, okay, well, this is going to make my job so much more fun and actually, in my opinion, easier because you have something to actually react off of.
my favorite is when they dress up some dude in some like just a unitard and like, okay, so this is what you're seeing, and he's holding like sticks, and they're like, that's the scenes I want to see. Like that's really what I want to see, especially in the '90s. Like, people with tennis balls on sticks, and
here comes the giant snake.
Yeah, man, love it.
Okay, let's jump to you for a second, Lauren. Here,
Okay.
Acting good. I've watched the first few episodes.
Okay.
It's so endearing.
It's the sweetest, yeah.
How much fun was making that?
It was really fun. For me, it was interesting because I think I was on day one.
You were the first day of production.
Yeah, first day of production or first day of the block. I can't remember. But
so everybody's getting it all out, and getting to know each other.
Yeah, it was really exciting, and like I play Heather, aka Prank Wife. And she's terrible.
Tell me more.
She's terrible. She's a horrible human being in the best way. And she's Brady. I don't want to give spoilers away. It's already been out, so I don't think I'm
you're
ruining
fine.
anything. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, but here you go. But Brady, so Pat Thornton's character, I play his wife that he's left because he lives up in this remote, he's like the only white guy in this community, and he lives in this remote area. And so one day he's like kind of like sleep talking, and they're asking him all these questions, and you find out that he's left a very abusive marriage, and he has a wife who is a YouTuber, and her whole channel is about pranking her husband in like horrible ways. Like,
amazing.
And every one of them is when he's in the shower. To my knowledge, the 4 I saw were all in it. And
God.
so the first day it was just me, and they didn't have Pat there that day yet, actually, and so it was
because he had COVID or something. Or
no, I don't know if he did. I can't remember, but just schedule wise, and they didn't really need him because it's all audio reaction for him anyways.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, the director, I had Michael Grey Eyes, and he's unbelievable. And he's fantastic, and
he lets you play.
Yeah, and like you want to keep close to, because it's very funny. It was very, very funny already. So you don't like, especially when you do comedy, you don't want to, play around with it too much because it's like you don't need to, and you shouldn't need to. But I also love it when they're like, okay, we got it. Now
One more your way?
Try a little bit this way. And so, there's one where I'm throwing a chair into the bathroom and like just and I wish that they could film it from my perspective, because it's like the camera's in the bathroom and then director's behind them. And then there's Gavin, who's like there to like catch this chair, and I just have to like wind up, and they're like, really? Just like take a couple swings at it and throw a chair in. And then there's one where I throw like a live ferret in the shower with him. It's not a real ferret. There's no actual animal harmed on the making of this.
Calm down, Petta.
Yeah,
what,
it's okay.
What episode is it?
I believe it's 4.
Yeah.
I've done the first 3.
Yeah, so I'm the next one.
Okay.
And so it's all, you just find out she's just a terrible, like, and then she like apologizes and said, okay, look, my marriage matters to me. I got to stop pranking my husband. And it's like really sentimental. It's like,
I love that the
just
abuse
kidding.
comes in the form of ferret bombing.
Yeah, like a ferret,
It's
hot
not-
coffee, a chair. Yeah, a few things, but it's just.
And is he like a nice, sweet guy?
Yeah,
And he's just being fucked with by this.
Yeah, like he's like, yeah, they're down. Like he's just like, please, you promise. Like, so it's fun. Like it's just.
Did you throw coffee at him when you were reading for this at all?
No,
you didn't.
But she's always going prank wave, like with the devil, and like
Yeah,
there's
it's
like
total,
like you just expect to be like point, like every time she like with like flames on her YouTube channel probably. So she dresses very like suburban mom, so it's a really funny contrast.
Yeah. Not soccer mom fucking shit up. Nobody thinks that.
No, like she looks like she would be, somewhat upstanding.
PTA.
Yeah.
Someone you just see at the mall.
Yeah.
Some lady
Like
at the mall.
maybe works at Reitman's.
Okay.
Like that kind
All
of
right.
thing. She definitely shops there. Definitely shops there.
Power suits. Lots of power suits.
A lot of.
She's above Northern Reflections.
Yeah, a
but
little
like-
bit above. Not quite Ricky's.
Hey, man, they're still hanging on.
Yeah.
I know.
Surprisingly, people still want loons on their
Man,
Yeah.
well, they're in the right area.
They are.
Turtleneck
Heaven's right
sets.
waiting room.
Yeah.
Park
Heaven's
Mall.
waiting.
Yeah.
That's not mine. That's Jeff
Oh.
McHenry.
Jeff McHenry had a good joke about that.
I've had a couple interactions with Paul.
Yeah,
And
he's the
he's
loveliest.
loveliest, man.
He's so funny.
I love it.
he's just a huge.
And he was so excited. And that was what's really nice, is being there on the first day, is seeing everyone just being like just ready to play and just get going on it. So, I mean, I can't tell you much more because I wasn't there for the rest
Sure,
of it.
yeah,
But,
no.
I mean, day one was great.
Yeah.
and yeah, a lot of people really really identified with the show and resonated with it. So it's really nice. I hope it comes back. I heard rumors that it is, but I don't know.
There's
So-
so
I've
much
heard as well.
comedy
Mhm.
in like Darcy Waite has done the show.
Okay.
And I've been exposed to stuff that I would never think would have humor in it because maybe I felt bad to laugh at it.
Right.
And then you see, no, we're just doing the same thing that everybody does, poking
Yeah.
fun at ourselves,
Yeah.
poking fun at our culture,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
making you laugh along with us. And
Yeah.
you're just like, fuck, this is it really hits home.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it's a Manitoba story, so it's so nice that it's like,
that we're the backdrop, right?
yeah.
Yeah. No, we
It's
don't
just
get that.
like,
I think
it's
Ice
amazing.
Road, we were the backdrop, maybe. They mentioned Winnipeg once in
Did
that
they?
film.
Oh,
Nice
did they?
film?
Oh,
I
yeah,
thi-
they did. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like,
I don't
we're-
know.
but then they were like Winnipeg, 4 hours north of Winnipeg, and I was like, no, they're way norther, guys.
Mhm.
Like, come on now.
There's like 4 hours until you have to get gas again, and then they got to drive another. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
comedy
Mhm.
with acting good.
Mm-hmm.
Then Hallmark, you do a
Yeah.
lot of the Hallmark stuff, and I've
Yeah.
never had a chance to really talk about Hallmark with anybody. And I mentioned that, like, and it's like we're the mecca for it, right?
Yeah,
like
they love it here.
they love filming
Yeah.
here. We look good on camera.
There's
Yeah.
always snow.
There's always snow,
yeah,
right?
well,
you
they can shoot real snow like 6 months of the year, pretty much, if you think about
you
it.
can pack them in 30 days,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Less.
And
15.
sometimes. Yeah.
really,
15
A
sometimes.
lot of them are less than 20.
does
shooting.
it ruin it for you when you're doing a Christmas film in July and then Christmas rolls around, 6 months later, and you're like, I've been here, done that. Like, does that?
No, I mean, it didn't this year. Like we shot in, I think it was July, June.
I think it's more. I think
happily
it's more
married after
crew.
Christmas?
Yeah.
I think it's more crew that gets stunted by the
Sure.
the Christmas every day of the year
It's
for their
gotta
life.
suck.
Yeah.
I know because I worked a few of them as props, or I started and I just started the props and I was like, I have to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this. And I know that there's a whole crew of them that work those, and they're like,
Just give them a shout, and they're
just,
like,
please, are you doing horror? Can I do a horror?
Yeah.
Yeah,
can
please do
you
a
break
horror.
me out of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
It
Groundhog
is.
Day for
It
them.
is.
Yeah.
It's just on repeat.
Like you should see the amount of Christmas in storage.
Yeah.
The
I
amount of
saw them
Christmas-
setting up for one day in the
Mhm.
exchange, and it just looked like the Christmas store just puked out
Yeah.
the back of the
Dude.
truck, and it was.
And
it-
it's
That's stored
weird.
places.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's weird when you're on set. You're like, wow, this is a lot. And then when you watch it, you're like, no, that's perfect. Like it looks just right
Oh.
on camera. But in the moment, you're like, there's
too
garland
much.
everywhere. And then it's
it's a gaudy Christmas.
yeah.
Does that?
A gaudy Christmas is a different one.
That's
That's
a different
that's
one.
where the gangsters cut off your thumb. The gaudy Christmas.
Got it. I'm sorry. Mid '80s
Yeah.
Italian
I would
family.
love that. I would love that.
The
If,
gaudy Christmas.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Like Lifetime. Lifetime would take that one. Hallmark wouldn't touch it, but Lifetime might do it.
Does it like does the love really like I look at them and they're cheesy as shit,
Mm-hmm.
but they work, and I just wonder like what how do we get there on set? What that environment's like to make this pop for us?
Well, I mean, I've never actually played a love interest on any of the Hallmarks. I'm usually like
Don't say never.
Yeah, you never know. It could happen. Call me Hallmark. Anyways, but I'm usually like the friend or the quirky, fun person that's the friend and also runs an obscure. Like this last one, I was the tow truck service in the whole little town. So, which was great because you're kind of like, this is.
And you were
good.
everywhere, though, weren't you?
Yeah, like she would just be there, like in the corner, and they would like make commentary. Like they'd be like, "Is it over?" And I'd be like, "Nope," like just in the corner, or like they'd be picking something up, and then I would just randomly be there. They added a scene where I
Was her name
picked up.
Cindy?
Yeah, Cindy. So she ran a tow truck service. It was for We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Which,
That's it. We wish you a married.
Yeah, and it was
yeah.
actually kind of different for Hallmarks because there wasn't a cute little kid in it. And
There's a woman driving a tow truck.
yeah, yeah. But
They're getting progressive, man.
But-
Right?
yeah, but the relationship they were kind of falling out of love, and they had already been married. Like they were already in a
Oh, it's
relationship.
not. It's not the big girl
Yeah.
comes back home.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. It was them
boyfriend
finding
from
each
high
other
s- yeah.
again, being right in front of your nose the whole time. So, I appreciated that. That was nice, and I think other people did too. And that was done by Inferno too. And I will work with Ian Dimmerman
Yeah.
anytime, always, forever.
Ian Dimmerman was my first contact really in the
He's
film
amazing.
industry.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will work with him always.
And
forever.
Lisa?
And Lisa
I love
Cicelli, yeah.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Is it Cicelli? Because I have never had the balls to pronounce her last name
As
because I
far
don't
as
know how
I
to say
know,
it.
that's how
Okay.
it's pronounced to me. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Lisa, if I said it wrong.
I email her only, so I don't have to say it. But I'm like, I can't figure that one out. No, Inferno's great to
Yeah,
work with.
they're amazing.
And Sammy, is Sammy still there?
I think so.
I went to school with Sammy,
I think so.
like way back.
Because I get a lot of emails from people and I don't actually see them.
Yeah.
But like I'll see Lisa and Ian obviously on set. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and it was nice. It's funny because I think Hallmark has such a like a following. Like they have like a Hallmark Comic-Con kind of thing. Like
Really?
Yeah, and it's a big deal. Like people go to it.
Oh yeah, Lauren's IMDb in
Yeah, whenever.
December, like
Yeah, I did
Thanksgiving,
I did a
December.
Thanksgiving Hallmark, like the first thing I ever did, probably 15 years ago. And every American Thanksgiving and Canadian Thanksgiving, my IMDb goes like through the roof, and it has since then.
Yeah, I
it
get
goes
frustrated.
It goes way. I jump
Oh,
like
so
a
you
whole
guys
bunch.
get to see a spike on your side of the
Yeah,
page.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
Oh,
first
that's
one I did, it was
interesting.
a Thanksgiving.
Well, and you'll have
one.
fans contact you and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes like there's a couple.
That's so cool.
Yeah, there's a couple
I
like
didn't know
Hallmark
that.
podcasts and stuff, and they'll call me. They're like,
There
we
was a
love this
podcast
character.
that followed like
I can't remember their
Snow
name.
on Snowmans.
I can't remember. Well,
I can't believe they got money to make this. Is that what it is? Something like that.
Oh no! How did this get made?
How did this get made?
Made
Which is
fun
a
of
pretty
snowmans.
popular podcast.
Yeah.
With
Oh, that's the three
Shear.
comedians.
Yeah,
with
Yeah.
they
Shear
did.
and-
They
Paul Shear?
they just roasted snowmans the whole time, which
They
I'm
did it.
in. And like
The spike on that was insane.
it was oh man! But at the same time, they were still really nice to me, which I was thankful for. I was like, oh, please go gentle.
Yeah.
But they were wonderful.
When I see them, I stop and I'm like, and Shauna's like, get that fucking shit off, and I'm like, no, I love it. Like, I love trashy romance
Yeah.
on
Do
television.
you know what I heard? Like why they're made? They're made for
to piss off Candace Cameron?
Maybe that's very possible.
No, they're made basically. This is what the thought behind it. It was some sort of producer talking about it, but they're made because housewives can pick up at any point during the storyline.
Oh yes, and
So they can turn it on at any time.
Yeah,
and just start watching it at any time.
which is huge.
And leave it at any time.
Because if you've missed the first half, people usually don't stick around. With this one, it's like I'm writing the story.
I know it. I already know it. I'm already in.
It's and that we did an episode where we made up our own debate.
Oh, yeah.
We did a holiday like make up your own
Amazing.
Hallmark, and I
Yeah.
just went into a Hallmark generator and was like copy paste. I'm
Oh,
not
now
gonna
you
fucking
can-
complicate this.
Now you can AI.
Chat GPT. With
Yeah, just AI the shit out
Oh,
of it.
dude, the catchphrases for the show all made with Chat GPT.
Was it?
Like everything that I've ever for the last month, I've been like, make a catchphrase
Pitch
for the
it.
Real Debaters.
Pitch it.
That's amazing.
Where the power of
Oh,
debate
dude.
meets the power of cinema.
And people are all
fabulous. That's so
I
great.
find it fascinating that everyone's so worried about it. But it's like it's your like thought. You have to like limit what it thinks
You
about.
also have to
right?
workshop it after.
Yeah, you can't just like pop it. Like I know there's going to be little like kids, teenagers. That, yeah, here's my essay.
Yeah.
But you don't write like that. Get out of here. Like you have to
The
be
last-
like I write it in a grade 5 level for grade 11. Do you know what I mean? I'm teaching you how to.
Totally.
Just giving
Anyway.
the ideas to children.
That's fine. Tune in.
I,
Like this podcast.
follow, like, subscribe.
Yeah, right. Smash it.
So they're fun to work on.
Yeah.
And they're sweet.
They're
and,
light. Like
yeah.
you're not really stressed. You're not really.
And you're working with friends, right?
Yeah, and
Like,
that's the other thing. Like here in Winnipeg, like you'll be like, oh hey, like everybody you know, and they all know you, and
being a
it's-
parent of a young child, that is
Yeah.
like
I do like having
amazing.
things that she can watch that I don't have to wait till she's 16.
Yeah,
to
there's no
watch.
conversations
Yeah,
about it.
like
Well,
I was
when
like,
you're
who's that? That's mommy.
and coming out of COVID, you're stuck
Yeah.
at home the whole time, and then you get to go to work and work on something that's fun and,
And
nice
light
and, like,
and yeah.
light
Well,
not
yeah, because I'm
full
going to
of
get into the
garbage.
Kara stuff later,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the complete opposite. Before we do that, I want to cover everything because we get so much.
So
but
much.
you're short.
Which one? Oh, the
Only Human.
the
Only Human.
Only Human. Check it out.
I watched
YouTube.
it twice
Like,
this
subscribe, smash that like button.
morning. Smash it. We'll put all your credits will be in the show notes so
Sure.
that people can spike at Thanksgiving, and then I can spike with you
Please
too.
There you
look
go.
at.
There you
Please
go.
come to my IMDb page and
Look at it.
Look at it
Yeah.
every
Just look
day
at
for
it.
me.
Scroll down.
For whatever, my IMDb page just gets dog shit. Like just nothing.
I will make sure that every episode going forward, we just say like Aaron Murky's IMDb.
Please,
page.
do.
Like
Please
just
do.
we'll,
Just put a
No,
link.
do,
Yeah.
do it
Just
as a
put a
test
link.
for like the month of March.
Yeah,
Just-
do it, please.
Done.
Please.
Yeah.
everything. Welcome to the show, kids. Like Aaron Murky's
It will
IMDb
though. Once
page.
Safe Haven comes out and everyone sees how
Yeah.
brilliant he is.
Yeah, I heard.
I'm not
I
worried.
really did hear that it was it was people's favorite character, which is weird for me because I'm like it's creepy, but they liked it. So
People are more into what is off-putting, I find, these days
Yeah.
than what is And for lack of a better term, what is Hallmark? What is packaged? What is processed?
Right.
Right? Like you want
The real.
you want the real, you want the new, you want
Something worse than your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, there's a whole
Daytime
genre.
television.
Yeah.
Daytime television.
Oh yeah.
The Netflix documentaries
Yeah.
of
Oh, dude.
Their Life is Worse Than Mine.
Yep.
When we all found out during COVID that Tiger King made us all feel better.
Yeah.
That whole entire genre has blown up where it's like, here's an idiot who fell for something and fell harder than you and still hasn't bounced
And
back.
someone died like in a bonkers situation.
Totally.
Yeah.
And someone
It's-
found her husband alive.
Yeah.
Which, hooray for him.
Dude,
Hooray for him.
Every day, me and Mark make fun of this all the time on the show because, well, in our everyday lives, our partners love true crime.
Oh, yeah.
And I got up this morning to, was it a murder or was it suicide? And I'm like, this is not how I want to start my Sunday. Pulling the sleep and hangover out of my
Hey
eyes
babe, you want waffles?
Right?
And her guts were spread across the wall. Like,
every fucking day.
Oh, we're like the end of our day, to be perfectly honest, because we live in rainbows and kittens and like bunnies.
She's better
because,
than that.
'cause-
She's better
no,
than
she is. But I'm just saying, like having a child, especially when they're young, you change a bit where you're like, oh my god, the world is so beautiful.
Like, I know every
you just-
episode of Bluey.
Yeah,
in
like
and out. Yeah.
everything's
Yeah.
beautiful and everything is Disneyfied, and I do love it
I
because
do
it makes
too,
me
yeah.
less of a cynical person.
Yes, totally.
But when she goes to bed, we're like, let's get the dark shit out. Let's rip it out and watch this.
Mindhunter.
Like, what did we watch last night?
We watched all
Murdoch?
three the Murdoch murders. Like
Oh,
all-
yeah,
on Netflix.
Alex Murdoch.
Yeah.
We watched it too.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Did you watch all three? All,
Watched
yeah.
back to back.
Yeah.
So
That's
crazy.
so fucked up.
Yeah.
So, what do you, first of all,
Redheads. Redheads.
All right.
okay, that, like, but, okay, you have to admit, the young son is
Oh.
the poster for the redhead you want to kick in the head.
Oh,
Like, that
dude.
guy
Yeah.
is such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the older son is too.
Well, yeah,
And
Buster,
the-
yeah.
But the delusion on the girl who dated him, the delusion you had to date a piece
But
of shit
also,
like
you're
that.
judging her now at 20. She was 15.
I
Yeah,
would
but
have
she-
done,
but, but the red tape she talked about. Sorry,
yeah.
the
Red
red tape
flags.
she talked
Red
about, or the
flags, you
red
mean?
flags. I'm
not a
like,
crime
fuck,
scene yet.
those are like, no. That's like, holy fuck. These my the feelings of virtue that I have
Yeah.
don't even match, not even closely. Like
Yeah.
it's polar opposite.
Me
Get
and
out of here.
Shauna were looking at her like, come on. You had like there was a lot of moments where she should have pulled the cord beforehand,
Right.
but I
Tons.
understand that love
Tons.
Love sometimes
Fucking
turns
one
to
hell of a
spitting
drug.
and hitting.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just.
spitting. I mean, if there's permission granted, I get it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
because
It's
spit
just
me
the
now.
worst.
Consent is important.
But yeah, cognitive dissonance, a phrase we learned
Ooh,
over.
yes, so
over-
did I.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's what she had.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
She can hold two opinions
Mhm.
that are completely against each other on a topic. There you go, listener. Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
Back to
Sorry.
your short.
Only human.
Only human.
Yes.
I saw it at the name I'm going to butcher it. Where did it premiere? What little festival it was? It was the
for
evening?
Actra MIPS.
The MIPS.
The MIPS, the
MIPS.
Member
Initiated.
Member initiated production.
initiated production.
Something.
Yeah.
Loved yours the most.
Thanks, brother.
Love a sad clown.
Thank you.
Big fan of that metaphor. I will tell you how I viewed it.
Sure,
you can
please.
Tell
I'd
me
love that.
what you
Yeah.
can tell me where I'm wrong. I looked at it
Let's
as
stop right there. No, I'm just kidding.
okay. You're way ahead of yourself. I looked at it as you're anchored in your personal view of who you are, which is the jail suit you were wearing,
Okay.
which was very fitting.
Yeah.
And what you want to become, you have to sacrifice and let go of to fully be happy.
Right.
To get rid of it all, to start anew and just realize you're human.
Right.
You've got the jail cell with all the bad words. You've got the hopes, the dreams on the balloons, which is like you're fighting between the two. You're trying to get this off of you, and then finally you got this huge gold chain that says human on it, which is all that matters. Am I right at all?
Yeah, very close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that what you were trying to convey?
Yeah.
Or what-
Okay. So
How
I
did it
think
all
the
start?
first time I talked to you, I was going through all this shit.
Very well. You
I
had your
think
medical thing.
my medical
and-
thing.
Yeah.
So basically, this spurred this.
Okay.
So while I was talking to you, I was actually like writing this out and making this. So I thought I was dying, right?
I was following your YouTube.
Yeah, I
videos
thought I was
and-
dying. So if you want to check it out, it's on my YouTube. But
and that's
Merke
past
in
tense,
character.
obviously.
Yeah. I they don't know what happened. They have no clue. And
But it
I'm
hasn't
just
happened. It hasn't happened.
my cognitive dissonance is fine with that. So yeah, the jail suit is a reflection of the things I've been called my whole life.
Okay.
Like just the things, the
Yes.
names. I was just like jotting
Public's
down.
opinion.
Yeah, public opinion. Like, but usually closer than public. Like family members, that
People
kind of
who
thing.
know
the
you,
shit
like
that you don't
labels,
even,
labels.
the things you don't even think you think about. Like the things you were called and you're like, I don't even know, whatever, move on. It still sits in there. It's the deep shit, right? So that's the names you've been called. The hopes and dreams are like, I want to do SNL. Do you know me? I want to do this. I want to do this. And it's also like the things that stop you from doing it. So I thought you couldn't have kids because I wanted to be an artist. I thought if I was going to have kids, I'd probably have to be a teacher or something. You know, all the bullshit you tell yourself.
Preconceived notions.
Yeah, just garbage.
Society's impression.
The norms and all the garbage. And so it's all of that. So you're like restricting yourself because you have all these hopes and dreams. And then you're just like, well, what the fuck? I'm like, if I'm dying, what are you going to do?
What's the fucking point?
What's the point? I want to get these off of me. So you have to let go of your hopes and dreams.
So I'm right where you have to let go of something, but you were in the throes of
like I stopped doing stand up years ago. Like things I stopped, I was just like, fuck it, I gotta let go of all these preconceived
because they weren't serving you.
No, and they're notions of myself that I was putting. I was holding myself accountable and holding them on, and you're holding too tight to even like see outside of yourself because you're like so focused on one thing. So just letting the shit go and letting life fucking happen was kind of it. And so you can then take off. Like I got my pants off in the thing, but like I couldn't get the shirt off. There's no way. So I let it go, get the shirt off. But when you let it go, basically, life will hand you things that you deserve or that you need or you want. Like, I know that sounds very fucking The Secret.
No, the secret is if you say it, somehow you manifest it.
Right.
Where what you're saying is you're letting a little bit of like chance.
Or
come
We have to
trusting.
Because I think like to be in this industry and like especially as a comedian and an actor, you sometimes sacrifice so much of yourself. And I see it in my friends too, like people that have become famous and things. The stuff they've had to like just not like just put blinders on and just go and not have a life is sad. Right, and so they get to a certain place, and then it's like
then you're Tom Brady, and you can't do anything because football's everything, pressure's everything.
Right,
You have no identity because
Right.
this is the only thing you are.
and you're not human. Like
No,
like
you're not.
if I would have stayed in Toronto and stayed with Much Music and done the things that I was doing before I moved back here and before we moved away, and like I think I would have been an angrier, selfish. I would you know what I mean? I wouldn't be a kind person, and I think letting go of that allowed me to be the person that I actually am and take all that shit and not be mean and not be that and just be the human.
And
that I
even
am.
like the positive labels that people can put on you
Yeah.
can still hinder you because
Right.
you think, oh, I'm the funny guy. I have to always be
Right.
funny. And it's like, you don't. You
don't.
can be.
You can be what you are. Just fucking breathe.
You exist. Like, and it will change. It's fluid. It will change day to day, moment
Yeah.
to moment.
Yeah.
So, getting locked in and cemented to them could hurt you more in the long run than not.
Well, you're not a
So-
racehorse,
Right.
right? And
Right.
that's what you break
Right.
a horse to be nothing but a racehorse.
Right.
Right.
So to be nothing but a character actor, to be nothing but a comedian,
Right.
to be like you're definitely you're shortchanging yourself.
Right.
Every-
And like I said earlier, like people really want to put you in a box because it's like you should only do one thing. It's like, no. Like life is so much more interesting than just doing one thing your whole life.
Well, and that's for
sacrificing
people-
your life.
if I have you in a box, I know where you are.
Exactly.
So that's
for other people
It's
to
for other
do.
people. They
Yeah.
can't understand that you want to be in
Yeah.
multiple boxes.
Yeah.
No, I thought, how was it like going through all this? And because you helped make the film with them, right?
Yeah, I mean, we were also going through other tricky
Yeah.
times at that time. You want me to say? 'Cause I
You can say
can't.
whatever you
yeah,
want.
so I actually had a miscarriage like 3 days before we shot that. So it was heavy
Yeah.
to emotionally, but I wanted to do it. I didn't want to just be sitting around. Just like I'm the type of Aaron
Idle
and I are
hands.
both and Aaron and I are both the same where it's like there's sometimes and we all do it. You sit in feeling sad for yourself too long. I mean, this is a very specific situation where you can take as long as you absolutely need to. But I know in myself that sometimes I need to just do something. I need to work and I need to focus on something. And so I wasn't feeling too great, but I wanted to be there and I wanted to support him because I did love the concept and I knew that it was not just about artistic expression, but about therapy for him.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot
You
of
two
things.
became therapy. Like,
Yeah.
it still is somewhat.
Because there's a lot of things like I've known him like 17 years.
I was
going to
say,
together.
as someone who's known him,
Yeah.
probably as all these labels have been assigned, there
Right.
might have been some stuff though that
Yeah.
predates.
Me.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's
for
absolutely
sure.
things that
Tons.
predate me, but there's also things that I've seen change
Yeah.
and grow and be let go, and then also things that he can't seem to let go of as easy as he would like to.
Mm-hmm.
So having having that situation just beforehand, and then him making that, it was just.
And I was still sick. We thought.
We didn't know what was going on, and
Catharsis.
yeah, it was very
man,
much
it was
catharsis,
pretty-
and also it was kind of pretty heavy into like a lot of lockdowns and stuff. Like it wasn't really a full lockdown, but there was still a lot of restrictions, and so we followed everything by the book. Obviously, everyone was wearing masks, and we were shooting all that, but it was nice just to be around people because we hadn't been.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
we were locked down still.
Yeah,
and
like,
there
I
was
mean-
no film happening at that time. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Well, and for a creative, like
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
to do. I never didn't work, and I got to do this
Oh,
all
shit,
the time.
Fuck you.
Right.
Right? That's like it's so fucking weird. Like I had to get COVID 2.5 years later to actually get time off work.
Right.
I'm construction.
Right.
We're Manitoba mandated industry.
Right.
Right.
You need a pump, and the government calls.
Right.
You
So
gotta go.
we were given exemption, but I can imagine for you guys,
Okay.
like going through what you went through, Lauren,
Right.
going through this, you're like 2 physical health. Like, that's a
Yeah.
lot of heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heavy shit.
So to be able to get it out, or to be
Yeah.
a part of something
Well,
that
and-
lets you get it out.
And also, I think those labels are applicable. I mean, I can understand them too because I think people.
And we have a
saw-
1.5-year-old.
Yeah,
at
at the
same
time, yeah, she was not even. I think she was just 2.
Yeah.
when it
Pull that
happened.
mic a little bit back.
Yeah,
too,
sorry,
though.
the sun's in my eyes. So
Oh.
yeah, there we go. Sun's setting.
I'll pull that down. Keep going.
Okay, but like I can really identify with having labels put on you and having, I saw something the other day that was like, there's a different version of you that exists in every single person you've ever met because what they think of you, what they've witnessed of you, what you've said. I mean, they all are going to make their own opinions about who you are and what you do. And I think sometimes Aaron and I, because we're silly or we're performative in our professions, that I think we both get written off sometimes as not being as emotionally having the same emotional needs as other people sometimes.
I would disagree with that wholeheartedly because anybody who's in comedy is working something out.
But
Oh,
I, in my experience throughout
Oh,
my
oh,
life,
okay,
I
yeah.
think there's been people who just write you off as being like, oh, whatever, you're just being silly, and you're like, yes, because I'm trying to feel
Well,
better.
and also in an
Yeah,
industry
okay.
where people aren't always as open and honest, like truly
Yeah,
honest with who
showing-
they are,
showing
like
all the cards,
because
yeah.
like there's a lot more narcissists in this profession than we care to admit, right? Like
Right.
Well, yeah, you want to be above the line. You don't want to be below.
right, right.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's
Right.
just how you
Right.
handle it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or in how you treat people when you get it. Like
Right.
Yeah.
I want to fuck Joe Rogan. I want number one, right?
Right,
But
right.
like I also know that I might not A, be capable of getting it yet, but
Yeah.
B, knowing that when you get there, like fucking chill, man.
What, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
There's
totally.
no reason to be arrogant.
Yeah,
and
I'm the type of guy
narcissistic
that
and-
if we like took a class years ago together, I'm like, oh yeah, nice to see you. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, and I know there's people that on the other end of things that are huge now. where
I'm
it's like-
jealous of you. You have something I want. Fuck off.
right? Yeah, and it's
Or they're
really
kind of like, what? You? I don't remember you.
Yeah,
And
I
you're
don't
like,
remember.
What? I thought we had a really
and it's
good
like,
moment.
wow, okay. And it's like for me, I was like, I'm like Spike and was like the bouncing dog. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm the
Yeah.
bouncing dog around Spike, and I know I'm obnoxious in that way, and I've always known it. So at times I tended to stay away, but now I don't as much because I'm like, fuck it.
No.
But
Yeah.
You do get to a point. Yeah, I agree. Like I don't. You just have to stop caring. Don't read the comments.
right, if you get annoyed with me, that's you're dealing with you, not me.
I'm still gonna be me.
Yeah, man.
You might
Can't
want to
deal
go.
Yeah.
with it. Yeah, yeah.
No,
What-
it was
yeah.
beautifully shot.
Well, thanks,
You
It was
get
man.
these
beautiful.
huge, and in the church, like it's a silent film, listener, but it's loud as fuck.
Yeah.
Like there's lots
And
of
magical
things.
because some of the like
The balloons happening.
the balloon happening
it
the
was
way
insane.
it did.
Oh, that wasn't.
No.
Like, how do you control that?
Like the only thing we did
That's-
was because he got the helium balloons and I just let a little bit of helium out of a couple of them
And
and
put air
blew
in.
and just blew regular air in them so they'd have a different weight. But the way it fell and where it fell was
Yeah.
entirely
We
Can you
shot
add
it.
that to your like FX
yeah.
credit?
A puppeteer and balloon
Ballooning.
blower.
Ballooner.
Yeah, man.
Balloonist.
But like that
Ballooner? Yeah.
like that happened right at it was 12 o'clock. It was the last
and the sun was shining through the,
the last
stained
take.
glass.
Yeah, you've got that blast
yeah,
coming
man.
through.
Like that's all just
And you have it. You
as
have
it
a
is.
church that isn't. I really appreciated that the church was in disarray in the background. Like it
Right.
wasn't. It wasn't this pristine, immaculate, holy place.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is counter to everything you see in a church.
right.
I don't even think they have a congregation, do they? They just
Yeah, they do. I know they do.
even if they did, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But yeah, it was a little more.
It was an Anglican church that basically had a food bank out of the back of it.
And I don't think they had services because
They didn't have
of the
some because of
restrictions.
COVID. Yeah,
so
at the time.
Did you always plan to take your clothes off? Was that
Yeah, the clothes was the church wasn't.
okay?
So I just wanted a warehouse. Like a lot, the inspiration I think came from the Childish Gambino a little bit.
Okay.
This is
Sure,
America.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's very.
This is America.
Yeah, like that fucking thing.
This is
Because
me.
it was so raw, right? And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, interesting. And it was just in the big. I was just thinking of a warehouse like that because I just needed tall ceilings.
Sure. A balloon environment, right,
Right.
Ballooner?
Yes.
And then I just,
That was me.
and then
My
I
expertise
literally,
says yes.
and then literally I just put on in Facebook is like, does anyone have a space like a church, school, and so.
Yeah,
and
he was
then-
looking for a gym at one point.
Gym.
Yeah.
And so someone was like, yeah,
80
come over
foot
here.
or 60 to 80 foot ceilings is
Right.
all I need.
And then
Yeah.
Matt
Yeah.
Schween, like,
Yes.
Oh, Matt Schween. Oh my
un-
God.
Yeah.
Like he was like before I had it cut up into like
He's
Wes
amazing.
Anderson-y type things, but he was like, we should. I have a dolly cam. We should just
Let's
put
do
it on
some
that.
sweeping shots.
Yeah.
Let's just do it in a one take,
And he's
it's a one
so
take.
brilliant. Like
It
everything.
really is a good one take.
Yeah, man, dude,
We did it, what, 5-6 times?
5 times.
Yeah.
And
5.
3 were
Wow.
usable.
3 were usable.
Three
We
or
did
four-
2 rehearsals, a bunch of rehearsals, 2 full way through rehearsals. Then they rolled, and we did 5 rolls.
No, it was 5 in total of filming.
No. You had a couple, I think, beforehand.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, whatever.
We just did. Those were just rehearsals, but they weren't like full.
I can switch
filming.
hats and charge $60 an hour to solve this if you would.
I think therapy should be done in podcast form.
That would be amazing.
That would be.
That would be amazing.
Hold people real accountable.
No
Yeah,
shit.
but-
You said, and I have it on
I have it
recording.
filmed and recorded.
But I think that is like the most real version of me, like that film.
Oh, dude, I think we all got to know you in that 5
Yeah.
minutes and
Yeah.
45 seconds. It really, and I'm not like, look at my room. You would not walk in here and be like, this guy likes short films, like short
art house film,
right? Like I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that guy,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just want to be able to have that eye in my toolbox. So if I do see one, I
Right.
can, act mature, reset,
Right.
look at it for what it is. It's not Captain America's ass is not going to be in this.
right. Yeah.
It's something that speaks to you, so let yourself be spoken to. And I've enjoyed that so much more, and that's been a byproduct of doing shit like this, because I
Right.
would still stay in my lane
right.
and be like, let's watch fucking more Jack Nicholson Batman, right?
Right.
But I'm better for it because I was like,
Period.
and me and Jimmy were like super nervous to go. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like,
Really?
yeah, because
Why?
we didn't know it was
It's
going to
the
be.
Mips.
I know, but like, I'm me, dude. Like, I
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
me talking about
Why did you guys go? Like, what
to
was
support you guys, to be
Oh,
there,
that's
to
nice.
like
Amazing.
have like be like, hey, the Real Debaters gives 2 fucks, right?
Right.
Like we,
But that's great.
so that's why we showed up. And me and Jimmy were just like, did you get that? I was like, I think I got that. We'll talk later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Ian's kind of been that route, right?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I interviewed him on Strong Son.
Right.
That's the first short film that I'd watched in
A
years,
great short film too.
and then was like, okay, put that hat on, see if you can
Yeah,
do it.
man.
Mhm.
It's so important. I think, especially here, you're able to make stuff like that because of the crew that you have access
Actra,
to. Yeah.
Manitoba
Yeah.
Film,
Yeah, man.
The Winnipeg Cinematheque with
Yeah.
the gear that you could rent. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah. Film group.
yeah.
Because I tell people regularly, you should move from Toronto to here
Mhm.
because it's a lot. You can access more. You can do more.
People are coming here, and it's a smaller, more focused pond of talent and artistry and education that isn't as insane. This is just an outsider, as the Toronto, Montreal, or Vancouver markets, where it's hand over fist and people are beating each other to the door because they want, like, it's busy, but it's not being fought over,
Right. It's not crazy yet.
right? And it's going to happen. So you might as well get here now
Yeah.
as it builds instead of when it turns into another Toronto or Vancouver where, there are 15 films being shot. You can't get to the top of the
Yeah.
line
So true.
and get trained and get educated
Right.
and become better at your
Yeah.
craft.
Yeah.
Like, I'm better at my thing here because this exists here. I
Right.
don't have to, like, people are like, there's people in Manitoba. I'm like, you don't fucking have any idea what's been
No.
made here.
But that.
Yes, Jennifer Lopez
that's our
and
fault,
Richard Gere
and that's-
danced one night, but come on now. Like,
Yeah,
But a little bit
it's
that's
true.
our fault too, though, right? Like when we downplay, it's like Lauren went to Humber, and I know people came out of Humber, and they're always like sheepish when they like the hot comedy program. Not as much anymore, but when it first started, they were like, "Yeah, I did Humber." They were always excusing it. Sorry, I did Humber.
Sorry, I did
And I'm like-
comedy writing and performance at Humber. Sorry.
And I'm like, dude,
really? It's apologize for that?
Yeah, I
Back
had
in
this
the
feeling.
day,
I
when it first
I didn't
started,
feel that way, but I knew other
there's
people did.
other people that did,
Yeah.
and I was like, don't do that. Like, what you should do is like amp it up so it feels like
Yeah.
it's more than it is, because it will be eventually.
Yeah.
Like the people that have come out of there is huge, like huge. But back in the day, it was like, oh, you've got to go to school to learn comedy, It's like,
Yeah, like
well,
they
no,
call it
you,
like clown call it. Like, and honestly, most of the people who said that were also comedians who were real pissed that.
well, because they're all fighting to the crabs in
Yeah.
the bucket, man.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's what I don't understand
Yeah.
about comedy is that
how unfriendly it can be in
yeah,
Canada.
how unfriendly a pastime should be.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's
Right?
like, I get that it's very singular. It's your performance, it's your voice, and it's your audience.
Yeah.
And to command a room that are all on bated breath for your next joke is a powerful feeling.
Yes.
But
One of the best.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
To rock 1,000 strangers into
Yeah.
a roar of laughter.
Yeah.
I've done it maybe twice since I've started this show.
Yeah.
And both times I was like, fuck, that's addictive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be that should be something that's celebrated, not like, fuck you, get off my neck. I want that spot.
This,
Like,
I'll have to say it's worse in Canada than it is in the States.
it feels like
It's
that.
worse in Canada because of the glass ceiling, to be honest.
Sure.
And so no one's looking for comedians up in Canada. Like, no one cares because we're not a mecca, right? Like, we fall into that a lot. Like, we're able to move a lot quicker up here. Like, as far as I'm concerned, we can move a lot. I can do this project, I can do that project, I can do this, I can do that. But there's also, like, there's some pithy, shitty attitudes here.
Yeah.
And especially in Manitoba, there's some garbage attitudes, I have to say. And so it's like, and Toronto, Vancouver, like, it's just, it depends. It depends on the scene. It depends who you come up with. And it's like, I don't know.
Well, it's
it doesn't
always
need to be
how
mean. It doesn't
whoever
need to be
drives
mean.
the ship before.
Yeah, dude.
If you don't it doesn't need to be competitive.
No.
I
at
get,
all.
and I understand that you need to, take your licks and bomb and have those horrible nights in anything. You need to bomb to get better. Otherwise, you're just going to think you're only as good as you won't learn. But I don't think it needs to be so competitive. I don't think it needs to be so
mean.
I think it's like
And opinionated.
yeah.
And opinionated. Like, I think if you really genuinely love comedy, whether you perform it or not, if you love it, if you live for it, picking apart someone else's comedy, unless it's like directly offensive to someone
yeah.
and like you're picking on someone,
Or
you're punching down.
the technical aspect
Yes.
of
Right.
how they're
Yes.
like if you're bombing your joke and I'm
Yes.
picking apart how you're doing your
Yes.
joke, not your intent,
Yes.
not your
Yeah.
creativity, just I'm chewing apart that
Well,
you're early or
yeah.
you're asking for the laugh or
yeah.
something.
And if you can look at the math of it and go, okay, that's not my cup of tea, but I understand that there's people who will love that joke, that it makes sense on paper why this works, and you're delivering it the right way so that those people will love it. Why would I pick that apart? Like, I don't have to love every flavor of ice cream,
Yeah.
but I can understand that's like, why would I tell you your flavor is stupid? Like, that's such a backwards thinking, like going, oh, wow, yeah, no, not my favorite. I really like strawberry, but I'm glad you like, cherry vanilla or whatever. Like,
There's room for both.
right.
Baskin
exactly.
Robbins said it. There's
Yes.
32 fucking
Yes.
flavors.
And
you
people
can
are
Yes.
fighting over crumbs, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like
it's
when
a
you really
waste of
think about it, why
energy.
you've like
Yeah.
people in the film industry. There's a lot of money to be had. There's a lot of money on the table, and no one's treating each other like shit.
No.
And it's competitive, right? Or people can perceive it as, I don't think of it as competitive, but they perceive it as competitive because there's a lot of money on the table. But for something that has no money on the table, like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, let it go, dude. This
Yeah.
is like, it can't be, like, I know it's not a hobby for you. I know it's a life for you. I get it. I've been there. I lived it. But, like, you don't have to be a dickhead to get a head. You know what I mean? Like, you
Totally.
should be the opposite, actually.
Totally. And every people have the limited people that have come up to me. I always remember. I'm like, if someone asks me a question, I'm like, I will always tell you how I did it. If you think I'm doing something right, which I don't know why you think that, but if you like, somebody said something about the show once, and they're like, man, they're nailing it, and I was like, thank you. Like,
Right.
I don't know why you think that.
Yeah.
But
How
thank you.
many years?
5?
5 years, okay? 5 years. And, like, within that 5 years, you got there. But did they listen to your first show?
Nobody
Did they
can.
listen
I
to the
took them
second
off
show?
the website.
Right? Right? But do you know what I mean? Like, but those are the learning.
Yes.
You have a learning.
Yeah.
And it's, people need that place to learn. So having,
A shitty learning environment.
yeah, it's
Or
not going
people
to help.
picking you apart every step of the way. It's going,
man.
well, why? Like, what a waste of energy for even the person, the bully.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I
like,
also know who you are when you do that,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
you need to pick apart somebody else to feel better.
Exactly.
You should probably not be in the business of making people laugh.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're going to eventually pick apart someone in your audience,
Yeah.
and you're going to alienate them, and then you're just going to be like, how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking assholes.
And I've had comedy idols, especially when I lived in Toronto, who I adored and thought they were amazing, and then saw them how they talked to like a waiter, or how they talked to someone, and it's like for no reason they were just a dick for no reason, it's like, wow, I don't actually care about
Obviously,
about
you've
your
never been a
comedy.
waiter.
I don't care about your comedy anymore. I don't care about
Yeah.
what you're doing because you're taking pleasure and joy out of hurting somebody else. And
Right.
and I know like comedy's subjective and people get edgy and they say their funny opinions and they're, I'm not saying anything against that, but yeah.
It's how the
just-
industry treats each other, not
Yes.
how the industry performs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To quote Kanye West, hurt people hurt. So. I've quoted him a couple times in my life. I don't know why I say that.
Yeet out of here, buddy.
Easy
Yeah,
now.
there you go.
Nice. Hey-o.
There you go.
We got off track on those.
That's okay. I'll put us back here. So it's Kara Robertson.
Kari Farver.
I read about it, but I want listener to know because you prominently comedy, funny,
Yeah.
charming, to a dark story about murder.
Yeah.
Correct? What is
Yeah.
it for a listener?
Okay, so it's a bonkers story. There was a Dateline and a 2020 about it, I think, and they actually sent.
Shauna, get down. No.
Yeah, it's probably on there, but it's a woman who started dating a man, and they were both. I think she was a single mom, and he was kind of like a newly separated sort of single dad. And then they started dating, and then they went on a couple of dates, and then one day she just like wasn't at his she stayed at his house for something because she had some work thing. She wasn't there anymore. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't watched this yet.
Too late.
Too late. But so she's there and she's, working from home from his house. And then he just gets a text one day and she's like, I can't do this. It's over. I'm out. He was like, well, it was super abrupt, but they'd only been dating a couple of months, if that. He's like, okay, I guess. And then all of a sudden he starts getting more and more just bonkers, like really aggressive texts from this woman. And he's going, well, leave me alone then. Like, I thought we're over. And then meanwhile he dates this other woman. He's still talking to his ex-wife and his kids and all this stuff. Then you find out that this Kara is missing. Like her family has gone. We haven't seen her. So then
Kara's not the one sending the messages.
Well, they think she is, but they don't know where she is and why and what's happening. And
my
then
God.
so he goes.
This all makes
So the
Hallmark
police come to
Christmas
him.
awkward.
So the police come to him asking questions like, when was the last? And he's going, what? I didn't this is the last time I've heard of her. This is what she said. And then now we're getting all these bonkers texts. I don't want to give it all away, but he starts dating this other woman who starts also getting stalked by getting texts from Kara.
By Kira.
Yeah, and just horrible things said to her. And I don't even know if it made the movie, but in the story, like her house burns down. I think a couple of her dogs died. Like it was crazy. You find out all along that this other woman he had been dating got like jealous and like posed as her and killed Kara and like had her van or her Jeep or something. And yeah.
So Kara was a complete innocent bystander in all of this.
Yeah, a lovely woman who left behind like a son and yeah.
So you go from being fun and funny
Yeah.
and charming. How do you find darkness? How do you be a part of it? Because it doesn't sound like you're the kind of person that wants to pick on somebody or make somebody's day bad.
Yeah.
So where do you find that in yourself?
I do love picking on people. No, I'm joking. Well, I mean, it's interesting because like a lot of stuff that comes here to Winnipeg is either like really happy or really like dark. Like I've done a lot of darker thriller, horror type.
Mm-hmm.
You did Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter.
Which is on Netflix until March 6th.
Yeah.
Go watch it, kids.
Go watch it.
It's fucking awesome.
Orphan. Yeah, a lot of dark stuff. So even like Fractured was
Orphan's a
quite dark.
romantic comedy. What are you talking
There
about?
you go. Beautiful and romantic.
Hey, she's got a
wants to
thing
look
for
young.
him,
Yeah,
She wants to look
right?
young.
It's true.
Tell me how you look at it.
But yeah, I don't know. I just I don't know. I think I don't want to sound weird, but I think a lot of times comedy and drama are a lot closer linked than people give them credit for. Anybody who actually acts in comedy and drama would definitely tell you that they are, but comedy is really just about truth, and drama is too. So it's like it's just a different side of the coin, I think. But I mean, I didn't in the Kara Robinson story. I just played like a forensic tech, which was really fun because they gave me like the little blue light luminol thing, and I was like, yes.
What did you blue light?
Blood. I found blood in a vehicle.
No, I meant offset. Did you
Oh,
take
no,
that home with you?
I was not. No way. It was. We were shooting.
Just go to public washrooms
No,
now.
we were shooting in the old Selkirk Hospital. I did not need to do that. Thank you very much. That would be very gross. But no, it was fun, and I kept joking with my like safety glasses and doing the like David Caruso thing.
Oh,
I was like,
da-da-da-da. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then all right, lights, action,
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
and then it just
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
comes back.
But I think I'm a pretty serious person, to be honest. Like,
But most, like, especially when you're working horror,
yeah.
it's usually like
They try to keep it
everyone's like
lighter.
really like
Yeah.
you're doing heavy scenes, and then everyone's like after you're cut, you're like, oh yeah, let's goof around because this is a little hard.
Yeah, I was
feeling
gonna say.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a decent role, but a
Yeah.
pretty small one. And most of mine was all after the crime, and we were helping,
Save the
figure
day.
Yeah. And then the detectives would come to me being like, what did we find? And it's like, this.
So knowing that Hallmark are based on acts of nonfiction. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
This is an act of fiction or nonfiction.
Nonfiction.
Like when you get into that genre, I mean, it must be such a nice break to be like, I've been happy all the time. I've been supportive. I've been the best friend.
Yeah.
And now I can do this. But I mean, after a while, it would like genre does have that effect where like, do you have to go to a place? Just and I mean,
yeah, a
you
little
say
bit.
you're.
Yeah.
Do you prep before like when these like? I'm just imagining the method performance of like a Daniel Day-Lewis
Yeah.
where like he's like, I refuse to go to the hospital even though I have tuberculosis. 'cause
Yeah.
they're, so like, do you start to watch darker movies? Do you get like,
Yeah,
do you,
I mean, I've done ones where, especially for auditions, like if I'm like, oh, I'm in such a bad mood, I don't want to use it. I'm like, no, I'm going to use it. I'm going to be.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I think,
for
I
sure.
think a lot of the times as actors, we have like a lunchbox, like characters. Like we have like certain things we just like. Okay, this is me and this. This is me and this. This.
Yeah.
Is, you've already built those characters. You just have to tweak little things here and there.
So you have a
Yeah.
toolbox.
You have a toolbox of shit. That you
Yeah,
just
and I mean, and it
pull
really
out.
depends on where in the script you are. Like if you're, like for example, on Carrie Farver, I was playing Christine, who's like a forensic tech. So I don't necessarily. She should be removed as a professional. She should be somewhat removed, but still affected by how terrible everything has been happening to this poor gal. But so I think it's more just putting yourself in that position and going, okay, she's still professional. She still would want to get to the bottom of this. You have to do it by the book so that the investigation is solid.
Cinephiles are watching everything, so they're
Yeah.
like, and I
Yeah.
mean, like no.
Well, they usually have specialists on site too.
Yeah, sometimes
so.
they do. Like they'll especially anytime I've played a nurse, they'll have nurses like explain like this is exactly what you would do, how you would do it. You would never take an IV out like this. You would never put this here. You would always do it this way. You would always wipe. Like I did one where they're like, you always wipe their mouth when you. Right, what's the opposite of intubate? But taking it out, unintubate or whatever the word is.
De-intubate.
De-intubate. But yeah, so it's like, and you want that stuff because people do watch for that. Like this is so silly, but I used to be a window cleaner like another lifetime ago, and if I ever watch a commercial or a show or someone's, I'm like, that's not how you do it.
I don't think that's silly at all.
Drives me nuts. So.
No, Lauren's amazing. I have to say, like, this is so stupid. But watching Lauren do windows, like, she kicked the dude's asses all the time. Not a joke. All the time.
Yeah.
She got paid less. But, like,
Yeah.
it's so fucking
Color
dumb,
me shocked.
right?
No.
But she fucking
Sadly.
could kill it, like fast. Like, it's insane. Anyway, we have to.
But yeah,
I don't know.
But I'm just
One day
saying,
you'll
like
have it.
you people watch, like especially experts in their field, are watching a movie and that's not how they do it.
Yeah.
Like, not even close.
Someone's
right?
always watching.
Yeah.
I'm sure lawyers just be like, get this garbage out. Like,
Well,
the
even, like,
amount of
watching-
lawyers that are
yeah.
like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
this is-
I asked the lawyer in our friend group. I was like, so I don't know, what was that one that they did in Toronto with Harvey and the guy who could know law but didn't go to law school?
Oh.
What was that one?
Oh yeah.
Where Meghan Markle came from?
Yeah, Suits.
Suits, thank
Yeah.
you. I was like, so how accurate is Suits? And he just laughed in my face.
Yeah.
He didn't even really answer me. And I was like, so not accurate at
Yeah.
all. And he's like, no, this is like no one tries a case like this. No one studies this little before going to court. Like but it's condensed and
Yeah.
whatever. But it's always the little things.
Yeah.
It's the coffee cup
Yeah.
in the middle of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Right? Or like last week with The Last of Us, the camera crew in broad daylight
Well,
in the drone shot.
Well, and that bridge is funny. My sister had her wedding photos at that bridge, so it's very
Yeah.
funny to watch.
Did you hear that Stephen King was like, that's not 10 clicks outside of Boston?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
come
but-
on, people. When there's
Yeah.
like
Come on,
mountains,
Stephen King.
right? Like,
Come on.
suspend disbelief
Come
a bit, buddy.
on.
You know?
But yeah, no, that is
Stephen
that
King,
is
get it
that is
together.
Canmore. That is Canmore. 100%.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
I would have loved to have seen it if it had been filmed here. What they would have done for the mountain shots? Like, would they have
Right.
just bought stock and fit
We
them
probably
in?
would have
probably.
CG'd it in the
Yeah,
background.
Sure. Okay.
Sky replacement.
Yeah.
The tools,
Yeah,
the
man.
tricks.
Yeah.
Or just establishing shots of mountains and then just really tight shots on people to
Yeah.
show them that there's mountains behind them.
Like, Calgary's not that dirty. I'm just have to say. I've been there. Lauren's from there. It's dirty, but it's not that dirty.
She's not from that dirty side.
No,
is it?
yeah.
All right.
My neighbor's pretty.
The windows are clean.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, in
Yeah.
Calgary, the windows are clean.
Yeah.
I love a good
You're welcome.
Lifetime story. I've been really getting into the Friend of a Family was the one they did on Showcase,
Okay.
Okay.
which
seen that one.
is Tom Hanks or Colin Hanks and Anna Paquin.
Oh yes. About the
Yes,
abducted in plain sight.
multiple. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's bonkers.
Which one's that?
Remember that documentary? I
This
watched?
is how our life. You're like getting a sneak peek into
Yeah,
our life.
it's a documentary about that little girl who was kidnapped twice by the same dude and was like returned and then found, and then they let the parents let this like adult neighbor sleep over, and like he kidnapped her.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, that crazy
Yeah,
story.
they made a
Where you're just like, what's up with that? Red Flags family. What's
Yeah.
up with that? Yeah.
You're burying the lead a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What she was told was that she had been chosen by
Right.
a alien species.
right. I forgot about that part.
Her dad wasn't her dad. Her mom was her mom.
Right.
And if she wasn't pregnant with the male companion at the age of 16, which was dun 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 dun, the guy who kidnapped her,
Mm-hmm.
then they would take her younger sister and impregnate her and steal her. So she was under the guise
Yeah.
for like 10 years that
Right.
she was special and an alien.
We all
and
are. That's how they get you. That's how they make you
Yeah.
crazy. Is like you're special.
You're
Only this special, but you're special. Right?
Are you a gray? Like, do you zip up in the back?
Right, right, right.
You're holding your form right now for me?
Chewing gum.
right?
So I can
Like,
breathe.
what's this? Like in Men in Black? The hot water.
Yeah.
Sugar water.
Love Men in Black.
And you also did, which is coming out next week, right? Yeah. March 10th it's coming
Oh,
out.
yeah.
You did Champ. You did a fucking Bobby Farley movie.
I know.
Like, you,
Mine.
There's
was
some
blown.
stories behind. Oh, do you want to tell those stories?
No. I have a very small role.
Sure.
It's like mother on the bus.
there's no small
no,
roles in this room.
but it is because it's a fantastic story and it's a remake from a Spanish film. But
Yes, I heard
it's-
about that
yeah,
recently.
But it's unbelievable. And then Mr. Farley.
Sorry, Farley.
I got to talk to him and he was wonderful and so nice and so funny and my character's I don't like this word, but she's straight up bitch. Like she just is, and she's terrible to these wonderful. They called them friends on set. They were our friends. But and she's terrible. So she gets her comeuppance, and it's great.
Yeah, it's about
fabulous.
differently abled children who play basketball with this team, and
in the Special Olympics, and I got to meet Woody Harrelson, really lovely man as well, and but he plays a coach that gets kind of banished from his league because of I think it's substance abuse or alcohol or something,
Yeah,
but
I think so.
he's just a jerk.
It's always substance abuse.
Yeah, and they kick him out, and then so they
Where
said
else
he
other
gets
than the
community
bus?
service because he.
This is hardball
Yeah.
for basketball
yeah.
with the lovely
Did you-
spin of the disabled
Did
kids.
you see the front cover? It's very Bad News Bears.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
It's
the
so
art-
awesome.
Oh, the
artwork on it?
artwork
Oh,
on
it's so deadly.
and Katie Olsen from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Caitlin Olsen.
Caitlin Olsen.
Yes,
Yes, sorry,
yeah.
thank you. And
I only met her
and
briefly
Cheech?
in passing. Yes, I didn't. I wasn't on any of his days. But,
that's okay.
But yeah, Caitlin Olsen. I saw her in passing as I was walking away with horrible stuff all over my shirt. So I won't give you any more spoilers. But
What's it like to talk to Bobby Farley though? Like from someone who appreciates the art and
Yeah,
has
well,
gone
I
to
mean,
school for it, and then
yeah, like when I met him, I like my 10-year-old Lauren in my head was
fangirl had to be
was
put
like,
away. Yeah.
like you just like this high pitch for a long time tone, and I won't do it in the mic but yeah, and then just meeting him, like he was really down to earth, really knew what he wanted, was really funny. It was just a wonderful set to be around. Like there was just such a lovely energy, and everybody it was just light and fun, and even like grips and different types of crew guys that sometimes are a little more gruff because they're trying to get stuff done and they're stressed out or whatever. Everyone was just like light and fun and relaxed and having a really good time, and it needed that. Like it.
Well, and I think the world needs that a little
They
bit
do.
too.
It's just such a lovely story, and people want to watch stuff where you can
Yes.
cheer someone on and just have a great time.
Need
and
more of it. Like,
Well, it's
Yeah.
the Ted Lasso effect.
yeah, man,
Yeah,
that's what I was just gonna say.
absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
like,
Right?
I love
Like,
Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
You either want your stakes to be the team doesn't respond to the leader,
Right.
or the leader needs to change for the betterment of the team. But that environment is great because rising tide lifts all ships.
Mm-hmm.
And to then throw it into the fact that it's not your standard story. It's not a bunch of troubled white kids or a bunch of troubled black kids or a
No.
bunch of troubled Spanish kids. It's a bunch of troubled disabled kids
Yeah.
who don't make movies.
Right.
Mhm.
So to create an environment where, like, to take from the story that magic you always hear about, how the magic of the story infects the crew, and those are the really
Yeah.
special fucking films. And I think this is going to be one of
Yeah.
those films that
Yeah.
it's gonna get into the ether, and you're gonna be like, yeah, this is what you want to watch, and it makes you feel good.
And I think it's really weird that because Lasso's made and this is made. I'm surprised that there's not more. There's not more high positivity.
Well,
kind of
those
films
studio
being
execs
made.
they didn't become cynic by accident,
Yeah.
right? Like,
But it's so fascinating though. But like, because everyone went through this drudgery
yes,
for how long?
yeah,
And we all want to be saved in some way.
Yeah.
And like,
And you want to cheer You want to cheer.
Yeah.
It's like why people
I want to watch
like,
Death and Murder, but I also want to be happy.
like
at the
feel
end of
good
the day.
stories and
Yeah.
and where the hero wins and
in that order too.
Yeah.
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 Right, watch The Dark,
absolutely.
and then
Yeah.
like
I
go to
wanna-
bed with Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
It's and I mean, yeah, okay, The Ringer was done when The Ringer was done.
Yeah.
was-
no, this
and-
is not like that at all.
No, and
at all.
not in the same vein whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I can't help but be like, man, maybe you shouldn't wait 20 years in between films
Yeah,
to do
agreed.
stuff like
Agreed.
this. Like,
Agreed.
there's obviously something there, and
Yeah.
it got a budget, and it's got a story, and it's got heart. So like,
Well, it's
let's
so much heart, like bursting at the seams, and it's and Bobby Farrelly is just amazing, and I have to say this because it blew my mind, but we did the take and it worked really well, and then he was like, Lauren, you're fucking hilarious, and I was like, Bobby Farrelly just said that. Like it's like okay,
Yes.
like 10-year-old Lauren high fiving, 11-year-old Lauren high fiving, 12-year-old Lauren, like
that's affirmation. That's
Right.
confirmation.
And
That's
you're
just like
this is this joy. It's pure, literal, pure joy. I
Yeah.
remember when you said that, I was like, okay, I floated home. I'm pretty sure.
and
We
he
were
knows
shooting
what
in
that
Selkirk.
compliment holds, right?
I
knows
hope he
what-
does.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sure he does. Like he should.
to make that man laugh
Yeah.
with what he's made us laugh with.
Yeah,
right?
right? So that's
Right.
why I was just going, okay. And he didn't have to say that. I'm hoping he didn't feel he needed to, but it was just, he was lovely. And
You didn't get to
everyone.
talk about jizz in the hair?
I didn't really feel like the time.
No, I know.
I don't have that in my hair, but I do have something else in my hair.
I know, right? But I love that he's always has his casting choices aren't always on the nose, and I do love that, and he kind of seeks it out, which is lovely too.
He sees that there's a light of something to work with, and then like
Yeah.
works it
Yeah.
throughout the shooting. And
Tons
gets
of
it on-
people. Yeah.
Well, and I mean Harrelson, I don't even think he knows he's funny. I think he just is. Like Woody Harrelson is something that you don't find that in a lot of actors. You can't see him like to go from our fucking idiot bartender to
But I don't know.
True Detective.
His bartender, like how dumb that Woody was.
That's a performance in and of
It's
itself.
genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
Well, and he was so sweet.
and so dumb.
Yeah.
But he's not that at all.
No.
And
No.
then you go take him to like with the one where he's the detective.
True
True Detective.
True Detective. Like polar out like
Or Natural Born Killers, or
Right,
Larry
right.
Flint,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
he is a character actor that nobody really saw coming because his red carpet to Hollywood is dumb bartender that like made $500.
But I would
a
love
week.
it. I would love him to go back to dumb bartender, just to like, do you know what I mean, or something dumb. I would love that,
Like a
Love it.
Biodome kind of
yeah,
thing?
I would
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I could.
Was he in Biodome?
No,
No.
I was just saying like a Biodome.
Yeah, like a
kind of thing.
Biodome. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you know what? Okay, all right. Have you seen Surfer Dude?
No.
Then it exists. Surfer Dude is Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
Oh my goodness.
McConaughey plays a sponsored surfer who gets back to Hawaii and back to
I feel like
California
I have seen this.
and finds out that his sponsorship has run out and he now has to be a reality TV star to keep it. And Woody Harrelson is his lawnmower company owning stoner manager. And it's literally the two of them stoned out of their minds being idiots for an hour and a
You
half.
should have to watch that with True Detective. You should have to. Do you know what I mean? You should have to watch the two of them.
It sounds like a movie that you would watch completely sober and by the end of it feel high.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
Like by association.
It'd be interesting if there's like a chop up like app where it chopped up both movies and you have to like cut it up and like you have to watch this segment and then this segment and then like you get high as you go or get drunk as you go.
You follow the progression of how high the character is of Woody
Right,
at the
right.
time.
Like,
There's
just
like a little
like-
meter in the
Yeah.
corner.
It's like, all right, now here, get the bong out, right?
Yeah, man.
No, if you want to see him just act like a total, like he's like, come on, bro, we don't have enough money
Love
in the
it.
kit.
That's amazing.
Like that's his role.
Because it's
the
kind
whole
of
When did
white
that
men
come out?
can't jump too ish.
I'd say I want to say like 18, 19. It was soft. It didn't have a big budget. There wasn't a lot of hype about it. Like the stuff that they do together outside of their careers always is like, here, I got 20 days. Let's make something stupid. We can get both of them, right?
Yeah.
And like they paid for this movie. No,
Yeah.
I don't think a studio would have been like.
Right.
And I mean, it's McConaughey being a beautiful, like he's in board shorts. That's it.
Amazing, yeah.
He's just in board shorts and he's barefoot the entire time. So he's just,
All right.
like the perfect version of McConaughey.
Did you just say all right?
All right.
All right, all right, all right.
You can't say all right and talk about McConaughey. That's not all right. That's not all right.
It is all right.
It's all right.
All right.
You guys do a lot of stuff, but you also like to have a lot of fun in your spare time.
Yeah.
And you got to go and take your child
Mm-hmm.
to the happiest
Yeah.
place on earth. And were you in Florida or were you in California?
California.
Okay, I've gone to Florida, but they're very similar from my understanding.
Mhm.
I didn't do
I've been
Magic
both.
Kingdom.
I've
You've
been
been to
to both,
both?
yeah.
Okay. What was it like taking your kid?
Oh, that was like
Well, we didn't tell her where we were going because my friend, comedian Steph Tola lives in LA. So we said we're going to go visit Steph, and she has a dog.
check out Steph Tola.
Yeah, Steph
She
Tola.
wants
Oh
people
my-
on YouTube, so
Yeah.
find Steph Tola. She's very funny.
Amazing. Yeah, she just opened for Sarah Silverman at Just for Laughs
Yeah.
in Vancouver.
Very funny.
And did her own thing. Yeah, she's killer. Amazing. Anyways, she has a dog, and my daughter is obsessed with her dog. So we're like, yeah, we're going to go meet Susan. That's her dog's name. And so we get there, and then we get the shuttle from the airport to our hotel,
Yeah.
which is like an hour from LAX. And there wasn't many people on the shuttle, but we weren't telling her yet where we were going. And then as you get into like Disney area, there's like the big banners on all the
Well, there's like big archway.
yeah,
and all
and
that
there's
stuff.
like
yeah.
Mickey and Goofy and Minnie everywhere, and all of the
And very sweet people
Yeah.
on the bus.
yeah,
Very
and
sweet.
but they were talking. There was like a kid who finally got to have her graduation present because of COVID, and then a lovely lesbian couple having their anniversary, and everyone was just talking about it, and they're like, and I love this, and I love this, and I keep looking at our daughter,
and we're both like being like,
shh,
the
like we
fuck
want to
up.
surprise her
We're trying
tomorrow.
to surprise this kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's just kind of like side-eyeing everything and looking out the window. And she's 4, so she's looking, and then she leans over and she goes, "Mommy, I think Disneyland is in this town." And I said, "Oh yeah." And she goes, "Do you think maybe we could go there?" And you're like, "Ugh," like your heart's breaking because you're like, I can't be like, no. So because I don't want her to think at all that we would, of course, go to the same town that Disneyland is
Because the
in
girl's
and not
graduating, wants to do Tower of Terror, whatever
Yeah.
the fuck it's called.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
it's the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, but
But yeah, so we're like, okay, fine. So we just
We're
grabbed the
going.
camera and we filmed it. And we're like, yeah, we're going to Disneyland. She's like, really? And she's just like,
they felt
so-
really bad.
They did. They
They
were like,
felt
she
really
didn't
bad.
know.
Oh, she didn't know. Oh, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a child that's not amped up on this bus.
Yeah.
No, she didn't know.
That
she
you
didn't
would
know.
have had to have gone on the bus, camouflaged everybody, tell them to sign
Yeah.
fucking gag
Yeah.
orders, don't
Yeah.
talk. This bus is, and then she would have been like, "Why is nobody talking, mommy?"
Well, and I didn't know that the shuttle would be that like intimate. So like I thought it would be a bigger bus.
Yeah,
Sure.
It was literally
Like one of those
just
like
a travel
limo
van.
buses.
Yeah.
But with just regular seats in it, like that.
Like a
size.
bachelorette party bus.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
size, but not
No
that
pole.
fun. No pole.
No pole, but the lights. It had the
Yeah,
lights.
had the lights. It did. No mirrors. But
So
yeah.
where did you and you gave the full
Yeah, we
meal
told her
deal?
everything.
Yeah, it was great.
And
That
then the
was
next
so much
morning,
fun.
we both woke up really early and we were like ready to go. And she was sleeping in, and we're like, okay, let's get up. Like, we're going to Disneyland. She's like, what? It's like the kid is up at 5 every single day, except this one day she wants to sleep in. And we're like, okay.
Yeah.
But we did the Goofy breakfast the first day, and she got
Goofy
to
Oh, you did
breakfast?
some of the theme stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, she loves meeting. Like she is more interested in the characters.
Yeah.
And so
like her favorite is Princess Tiana from
oh, dude,
Princess
that was
and the Frog.
really.
and-
She
yeah.
likes a deep cut.
Yeah.
she does.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
her favorite. Her that and Jasmine and
Mulan.
Mulan.
Yeah.
And
So she likes two legacies and
Mhm.
a newbie. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, and then but we got to meet Princess Tiana on the riverboat.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't like we just went and met. This was like 3 days of
Aaron
dad
sweet
researching
talking. Yeah,
and
Aaron
like talking
did
to
some
everyone.
reconnaissance.
Be like, okay, you gotta help me out. Like,
Where are we
because
going to see
we went and
Princess
saw
Tiana?
we went and lined up for those princesses twice.
Yeah.
because there's 2 different parks.
And you thought your child would be like 4 hours later and still be fine?
Oh, dude.
Wow. Those lineups are. I can't. I'm 40 and I can't do a.
Oh,
fucking
but with
lineup.
the genie pass now,
Okay,
it's a little bit different.
Okay, yeah.
we did a genie pass.
Mhm.
I was kind of like, I turned into like, okay, if we're gonna do this, like I'm spending this money.
He got a bit obsessive in a good way, like it
Like,
benefited all.
Dude,
of
Oh,
us.
definitely.
But yeah.
I probably spent as much money as you did, and I don't have kids.
Mhm.
I know
Oh,
exactly
dude.
what you're
Like I
talking
paid
about.
for, like if you could pay for a ride, I just paid for it. 'Cause
Yep.
I was like, I'm not standing in line, and that is her favorite ride.
Yeah, the Star Wars
Yeah, the
Rise of the Resistance.
Rise of the Resistance.
You
So-
took you got her on the.
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Okay, so
Okay, we took her on a roller coaster, making sure she was okay, and she's like, she
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
So we started with the
do
light
they have
rides.
the Hulk at that one?
No.
No, they did. He was at the very back, and he was like cordoned off. And I have a hilarious photo of her, and she's standing in front. He's in like a spacesuit, thinking, yeah. And
Yeah.
She's just, and it's a picture. And right before I took the picture, she's standing. She's like, "That's the Hulk back there." Okay, let's go.
Four.
That's the Hulk back there. Let's go.
Check the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
When we went, we just went for Hollywood Disney. So we
Okay.
just did Star
Nice.
Wars Land.
Yeah.
I wasn't interested in doing Magic Kingdom
That's fair.
or any of
Yeah,
that stuff.
okay.
Like, it's not my jam. But I did want to like go ape shit in Universal
Mhm.
Right.
and then just have money to enjoy the trip. But we did the Cantina experience.
Yes,
Yeah, we
we
did
did
that.
that too.
And then we
We didn't
did-
sign. I didn't even have to sign up for that though.
If you look right there, sir, that is the lightsaber
Oh, the
experience.
$200
Oh.
lightsaber.
Yeah,
We made
American.
the kid version.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I
we
watched-
talked about it. We talked about
We
it.
did talk about it, but I was like, I can't. You need to see it in person.
Oh, dude.
No, it's
But
great.
I watched two kids after their dad spent $200 each, and they were broken within a matter of
Oh
minutes. They
my.
started to be, they were
No.
like outside playing. I was like, no, it's a fucking decorative, man. Like, what are you doing? And yeah, broke them in half.
Yeah, we made the kid-friendly one that
Yeah.
Yeah,
retractable.
retractable
But
one.
she
yeah.
she made it. She picked all
She
the
made
pieces
it.
herself.
Yeah.
and-
What did
She
she
did.
get to do on the Rise of the Resistance? What was her card that they gave her? Like, was she driving? Was she I got cargo.
Oh, what did
Oh
we
no,
get?
she pilot once, and then we went.
that was
again.
on. That was on
That-
Smuggler's
the
Run. though.
Smuggler's Run. Yeah.
That was on the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Oh,
then-
and
So
sorry, Rise of the Resistance
Yeah.
is the new one.
Yeah.
The new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the 18-minute ride, right?
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, did
she,
you do it?
She was so
It
into
was just finished when I went,
Mhm.
but not open yet.
Oh,
Like, I
no.
was 20 some odd days off.
that. Oh, you need to go back.
Dude.
I know.
That right? Okay.
Well, they've
I
got
don't
the
wanna-
animatronics in it, right? They've got.
I
Like
don't. No,
It's-
no. You don't even know.
No,
It is a experience. Like it's like.
Is it Westworldy? But like
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda.
It's
Yeah.
like. It's like. Okay, the only way I can explain it is like it's like good dinner theater, like because you're
love it.
you're walking
Yeah.
into it, and it's like
Yeah.
you're in it. Like you know the black shiny floor with the stormtroopers.
Did they really make the?
Yep.
Like
And you walk
And
into
yeah,
it,
Yep.
and you're like,
And they question
holy
you.
shit! It's like
Yeah.
it's fully interactive. Like,
TK41. Do you copy?
yeah,
Yeah.
not even joking. So there's 3 rides within it, basically.
It's insane. I've heard.
It's my like.
Okay,
don't-
I was in the middle. Aaron was on one side of me, and our daughter was on the other side. And at one point, I don't want to spoil what's happening in it because it'll blow your mind out of your ears and eyeballs. Like, it's amazing.
It'll blow in your mouth out of your ass.
Yes. And at one point, we're looking around, and I'm like, this is amazing. And I look at my daughter, and her eyes are like saucers, just like, this is amazing. And I look at Aaron, and all of a sudden, Aaron is 4 years old, so I'm between 2 4-year-olds. Like, why? Like, it was, I can't even describe it.
dude.
It was so cool. Like,
So they built the
so-
set.
Yeah.
No,
like,
dude,
so much
it's
more.
so
So
much
much more. Like, it's,
Like you don't like. I don't know. I don't want to. I can't explain it.
yeah.
Because if you explain it, you would take away
How much
any
fun it
of
is.
it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a full
And
experience.
you think it's done, and then there's something else.
Like
and then
if you
think it's done,
dressed
then
up
there's-
and went to Star Wars, I would be like, okay, yeah, do it.
I got the stormtrooper outfit
Yeah,
upstairs.
I'm telling you, if
foam, not
Yeah.
plastic.
I would say dress as a rebellion.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But like if you're
Yeah.
gonna go like
Rise
you
of
could,
the Resistance makes more sense.
Yeah.
yeah. But if you're gonna go, if you dressed up, I would not judge you because sometimes like I get a little bit like
All right.
the comedian cynical, like oh yeah, you want to go to Comic-Con see all your famous fat.
You want to
heroes.
see fat versions of the same costume?
right. So it's like, but like honestly, I wouldn't.
I didn't know
bat
Boba
an
Fett
eye.
was Spanish. or 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
12.
Yeah, but if
Right.
anyone dressed up for that, I would be like, "You're on you, buddy. Like,
Yeah.
go get them.
Yeah.
I
It is the best."
Yeah.
was like when we got there, we got in Disney Hollywood Studios, and obviously it's like the walkway and all that shit, and Marvel's like in the back of it,
Mhm.
which was just starting. Like it really wasn't that. Like they hadn't built the university. I think is almost built now on that campus in Florida. But it was very minimal to what was there for Marvel. But the Star Wars stuff in Florida, we agreed we would not do fast passes. We would ride alone.
Oh yeah,
We would
And do the
experience
switch.
together, but we would be like back in front of ride. Didn't matter that we weren't sitting together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We
fair.
just got off together and went, that was so fucking awesome,
Yeah.
right?
Right,
And
right.
we got on rides within 5 to
Oh, yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
No fast pass needed. But
There's also a trick for if you are a parent, you can do a swap ride.
Mm-hmm.
So both parents can go. They sit. One parent sits with a child. One parent goes, and the other one can switch and,
and
go
then
immediately.
yeah, when you get off, we
immediately.
can switch. and then
Oh,
you
how
lose
They
your
cool.
go
spot.
right away.
Yeah,
Like right in, right away.
but a lot of
That's-
people don't know that because they go with little kids and they're like, well, someone has to watch them.
Man, the service there,
Yeah.
I tell you, I was in hospitality for a long time. I've had some amazing service in restaurants and entertainment and whatnot. We walked up to the line, and the single line was closed for Smuggler's Run. And I went deep into character and dropped the lip and started to quiver and looked over at the lady, and I was like, when will it open? And she said, we don't know. It could be 5 hours. It could be not for the rest of the day. We
Yeah.
just don't know. And I was like, okay. And then I look and I see that fucking sign with 3.5 hours on it. Lineup starts right here. And I was like, can I just sit here and wait? And she's like, yeah, totally. She looks over her shoulder a couple times and waits a couple minutes. And she's like, is it just you? I said, me and my wife. She said, get the fuck on.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Did she
That's
say,
their
did she say
job.
fuck too?
Yeah, she did.
Get out of here.
that's
Just
awesome.
get the fuck on.
That's awesome.
I walked by her and I gave her a giant
Right?
hug. I said, this is all I have ever wanted. Like
Yeah.
Right?
everything else I'm booked
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
I've paid for. I said I just wanted to get, and she's like, just go. So she put us right through the fast pass line. We got on, and then I almost kicked a child because he boat-guarded my pilot pass, and I got cargo.
Oh.
And I was like, fuck on them. No, well, fine.
Yeah.
And Shauna's like, calm down. But walking on that thing,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Right.
feel like I wanted to sit down
Were
and
you
play
doing
the.
the genie passes though?
No, we didn't.
they were
Oh.
single riders.
We were single riders
Yeah.
who just got that ride access
Right.
in 3 minutes of walking up.
Because there's
I
a
was
trick
on.
to the genie pass. Sorry, no one's.
Do it.
I'm so obsessed. I obsessed about this.
You go down a rabbit hole of
Yeah.
how
Oh,
to
dude.
negotiate the park.
So what it is if you get the genie pass, you try and find the rides that are closed, and you go to them because you get a free walk on anything.
Yep.
Walk on anything.
Oh, there's always a system.
And that happened to us. We had a free
Yeah.
walk on, and our daughter wanted to go on, I don't know, the Finding Nemo submarine thing, and we
Mm-hmm.
were like, okay, yeah, whatever. But it's a long, and we had a free one, and we told the gal, and we're like, where's this thing for the free one? She goes, oh, you got a free ride? We're like, yeah.
Is it, do
She
you
goes,
want to
"We-
use it on
she
this?
goes, you want to use it on this one? And we're like, well, yeah, our daughter really wants to go on. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
And she was like, but you want to use a free pass? Like, you can go on anything. You know that, right? And we were like, yeah. And she's like,
Just
all
go
right,
on.
just go on. And we didn't have to use our free ride, and so she let us go on, and it was, yeah.
They are charged with not sharing information
Mm-hmm.
on how to abuse the system, but to, in micro moments,
Yeah.
do whatever
Make
it
everyone's
takes.
day
Yeah.
the best day ever.
Well, I literally got her name up for the, and I went on, and they're like, is there an ambassador or whatever the word is they use who went above and beyond? And I like wrote, I never do that. And I was like, yep, she did. She was amazing. And
yeah.
That
Yeah.
sword stopped working because I didn't realize it drains batteries in an afternoon.
Oh.
It's wired very badly, but it stopped working.
Didn't
and
you wire it though? You made it.
No, I put a shell. Fuck off. I put a shell around a battery casing is what
fair.
I did.
That's fair.
But for 14 minutes, I felt like a smuggler who, like, I was by far 20 years older than everybody in there, easily. Shauna has video of me crying and like lifting it up. Like it is I don't care who you are. You were broken by Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a human, however hard your spirit is, Disney
Yeah.
will crush you
Yep.
and make you
Agreed.
the happiest kid on the
Right.
planet.
Agreed.
And we did 2 days there, then we did Universal.
Yeah.
Right up the street. And that was, here's my trick. I don't know if it works for everybody, but you go to the back of the park at the beginning of the day
Oh, yeah.
and work your way forward because everybody instinctively wants to get on rides they see
Oh.
open.
Right.
They don't realize that the open rides are just at the back of the park as much too. So we walked on
At
Jurassic
the back
Park.
of the
Oh,
at the
awesome.
back of
That's
the park is there the Back to the Future ride? 'Cause
They got rid of it.
I know they did.
Yeah.
I was just being an asshole.
Yeah, I know.
It's my favorite fucking
I know.
ride ever.
We went on that when we were, what, like
I was
2009?
no, we have.
They
we,
just
we
have the
never went
car
on that.
there now. They don't even
Oh.
have.
No, we haven't together.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, it
Sorry,
was.
it was really great. Sorry you didn't get to go on it.
How great was that?
It was the
really,
best.
really great.
It's probably the best ride ever.
I saw the death of the Indiana Jones one in Disney Hollywood Studios. Like
Oh, yeah.
it was the last run of that
Oh right.
Boulder thing.
Well, when we were we were in
That's where we
Disneyland,
did the parent pass.
I went on it because when the first time I went to Disneyland, I was 17, and it was like a family thing. It was kind of like the last trip my grandparents could go on because my grandmother her health was failing, so we went on a big family trip. And my sister and I made fun of my grandpa because we went on the Indiana Jones ride, and we were like, "Well, on that boulder," and he's like, "What? I didn't see it." And we're like, "Grandpa, like it was right there," and he's like, "No, I didn't see it." And so we were, and I don't know if he was messing with us. He wasn't the kind of guy to do that. But we went on a second time, and my sister and I were like, look, right there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, oh that's what you were talking about." Like he just like really downplayed it, and I don't know if he was messing with us or whatever. But it always makes us giggle because we're like, he was just a funny guy. And then
It's the whole bit,
Yeah,
Gramps.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
And then so
without
when
the boulder, we don't have anything.
yeah. So then we went when Aaron and I and our daughter went, and then the same thing. We did the parent switch thing. So Aaron's like, "You go first. This is important to you." So I went on, and I'm by myself. It took me like 10 minutes to get on, and then we're going, and I can tell something's wrong. Like the ride's just being kind of jerky, and the audio of like some of the story part isn't really syncing up.
It's
properly.
distorted.
Yeah, and you're
The
going,
park's coming alive.
this is weird. And so and then it's fine for a bit, and all of a sudden we come around where the boulder is, and there's no boulder. And I literally was like, all right, Grandpa. Like he's been gone for like 12 years, but he would have found that very funny, and it made me laugh. Then
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you hear this like, ladies and gentlemen, right going to be we're having some trouble. So then we get off. I get off like 10 feet from where you're supposed to.
Can I take over for this?
Sure. Aaron had a different experience.
Totally
during
different
my
experience. So, so they close the ride. They're like, emergency people are coming into the ride. Not
I don't
alive.
know this.
These are words you do not
Doctors-
want to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
Doctors are coming. Like there's
Especially at
a
Disney,
gurney,
they don't
a-
show that very
A
often.
gurney's coming in,
Yeah.
right? I'm standing with my 4-year-old daughter. Everyone's coming off. They meet their loved ones, and there's a huddle of people just waiting for their loved ones. They're gone. No one else is there. It's just me and this Hispanic lady, and I'm sitting with my daughter, and we move into the ride because we're waiting for their mom, or her mom, and she's waiting for her family, and she's like, I don't know what happened. It's like, I don't know what happened either. And we're like, they bring in the gurney, and we're like, what happened? And I'm like, I'm a single dad now. What's going on? Like, where is my wife? I start like, and this is where I started tearing up at Disney. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, I'm literally tearing up because it wasn't like minutes. It was like half hour
Yeah.
waiting for this.
It wasn't
You're
that long.
fine.
I'm fine, but I got off. I was the last ride before they closed it, and we were way back deep in the catacombs of the ride.
So
we had to-
all he sees is the gurney go in, and
And
you
all
not
these
come-
people coming out.
but not me.
And not Emmy. And
That's
not Lauren.
the exact scene in the airport when the person you're waiting for decides to not get on the plane
Yeah.
or dies.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Dies.
real life fucking.
Right.
Oh my God.
He was
And
so
so I'm
stressed.
like, oh. And that was the first day? Is that
Yeah,
the first
I
day?
think it was the first.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
what a
I was
kickoff.
so like,
But then I was
Whew.
like, why would you be mad? Like, you would have been set for life, you guys. Like, you guys would have been taken very well
Disney
care of.
money. She didn't say that.
I was
But I
like,
was
Disney
for
money.
sure.
I mean, there's
we're
two.
sorry, we Indiana Jones your wife.
You can be.
That boulder did exist.
Yeah, the boulder did exist. It landed on Lauren. Jokes on her, but
I mean, Dax Shepard knows all about that Disney money, but he's married into it. You don't.
What?
yeah,
Kristen,
Kristen Bell is.
Kristen Bell is-
is
I knew
Anna.
that.
Yeah.
But that's different kind of.
That's what I'm saying. Is that the Disney money you're getting might not be as happy ever after. Nonetheless.
I want this money and a park.
But then he was joking. He's
In
like,
the next
if,
Marvel
he's like, if
movie.
you died, if you
and
died
20
at,
points.
Yeah. But he's like, if you died at Disney, do you think we would ever come back here? I was like, oh, that's fair. Because I was like, you guys would get in for free forever.
Oh,
And he's like,
lifetime access.
he's like, we would never come back here if
we
you
would
died.
never come back here.
Not fair.
Or we would come back every year and memorialize your death
Indiana
at
Jones.
Indiana
a
Jones.
little bit of ashes each
Da-da-da.
time.
A
That's what
cross
you'd have to
and-
play at my funeral.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Bring her in.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to downplay it because my daughter's 4, right? And so like I'm tearing up,
Yeah.
and I'm like, anyway.
You.
But all it was a man who had heat exhaustion. That's all it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and not that that's not a bad thing. It's serious.
It was an older. It
but
was
he
an
was
older.
okay.
Sure.
He was okay.
Yeah.
I saw him walking later.
'Cause
but-
I was like, what was happening? Because she came out, I was like, what happened? What's going on? Give me the DL.
But how fast was the gurney there? Like, how fast was this process?
It took a little while because
Yeah.
they were like, get everyone away from the ride.
yeah.
So
like
I snuck
the
in.
serpentine lineup, everything was gone.
So they're like, get
the
everyone off of the ride.
serpentine line.
You know what I mean?
Well, when more crew
It's the name
come,
of snake.
That's
when
what they
more-
do. They bag more people.
when more crew come from Disney, and there's more and more crew
And
come
then, like,
to like
manager
get
people.
out.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
that happens,
Yeah.
for
I'm
sure.
like, ugh.
Well, like Banksy did a whole art piece in Disney and shut
What?
down the park.
What?
He brought in a Guantanamo Bay terrorist dummy and dropped it in the park, and that was his art. And they snuck into like a kids ride, and then like he put a camera there, and you slowly watch throughout the documentary that like the ride starts to slow down, and then you hear the PA system, and they're like blah 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 and blah 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 park area,
Wow.
and then they come over and they see, and there's a dummy of a Guantanamo Bay terrorist in the happiest place on earth.
Oh my god,
That was his art installation.
Wow.
brilliant.
Not-
But
It's
also
in,
like
it's inside Exit at the Gift Shop.
it is. I have to watch that again.
How
Yeah.
did he get it in there?
They snuck it in inside of a backpack in
It
pieces.
would have been in pieces. Yeah, it would have.
Yeah.
And then they assembled it when nobody was looking, and they were all masked up, and then they jumped the
Marvel
fence and-
assemble.
right? Glorious purpose.
Wow.
So
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Disney's had the like, and I mean Disney, they've got the 100 Club or something, which is like the VIP of VIPs of Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where like you're Tom Brady and you book Disney out for the day,
Oh, yeah.
you get access to that
Yeah.
restaurant. It's like Walt's personal,
I heard there's
getaway.
a suite in the castle that's only for that.
Really?
Like an actual
in the
hotel
actual castle
suite, like in the main park.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and you can have a sleepover in there.
And then they have like, I remember.
I don't want to be that rich, to
I
be
don't
honest.
either.
No,
That's
I don't want to be able to shut down Disney, Rich. You know what I want? I
No.
want to be able to get in Disney back doors.
Sure.
The
Yeah.
park, I mean.
Yeah.
But
Back to
I don't want to
I don't know
backdoor
if Walt
Disney.
is that much
Yeah.
of a human anymore. He's
I want
more
to backdoor
just
the
bones.
happiest place on earth.
Oh,
Okay.
not Walt.
Not Walt.
Okay.
The park itself. No. But I want to be able to like open up like the secret back door
Yeah.
and with the garage door opener
Yeah,
and drive into Disney and just hang out. And
Yeah.
that would be rich enough.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, talk to the animators. You know what
Right?
I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's-
be an Imagineer on the
Yeah,
weekends.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
That would be
Fun.
fun.
Yeah, no, it was deadly. And the fact that my daughter left loving Star Wars. Like, she left loving
Well, we have
Star
a
Wars.
picture of her with a tiara on and a Star Wars sweater holding her lightsaber.
in front of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. And bright pink shorts and
Yeah, she's a fangirl.
Yeah.
But she was having a great time.
Yeah.
And she was like, I like those churros.
She really liked the
She
what was it?
she'd
The
never had a
churros?
churro, and she's like, "Can we have one of those every day, Mom?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Sure.
let's do it."
No turkey legs?
No,
No, I hate
Ugh,
them.
No,
Tastes like
gross.
pork. Why,
They're so
why
gross.
turkey tastes like pork? Get
Right.
out of here.
Pink
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
poultry.
Well,
Pink
I mean,
poultry. Ugh.
When you realize that Disney is like one of the first like producers of the animatronic, I wonder how far outside of that world now. Like, are they making turkey flavor or ham flavored turkey?
That's
Yeah.
gross.
Right?
It's
Is that
gross.
because like I mean, dark meat is dark meat, but that does like I tried some.
It's gross.
It's gross.
I had a Duff beer, and that
Nice,
ruined my
nice.
whole Simpsons ride. I got really dizzy after
Oh no.
because that one 4D experience, I couldn't understand how we didn't move and we went everywhere.
Right.
Like it just melted my fucking brain. But taking that beer beforehand was a bad idea. And the turkey leg, I saw after I saw the Blues Brothers ripoff
Yeah.
performance that Shauna had to dance with Jake Elwood. I got a video of it. He's like, "Come on, lady," and I was like, "You're on your own. I am not. This is your happy day." But we talked earlier. You got to meet Phil Tippit
Got to meet
while
Phil
you were
Tippit.
there. Like, did you go?
Not at Disney.
No, yeah,
That was in Burbank
Yeah.
at Monsterpalooza.
Son of Monster.
Son of Monsterpalooza. So there's a Monsterpalooza and a Son of Monsterpalooza every year. Son of Monsterpalooza is in the summer.
Yeah, because we did 4
This is
days at Disney,
October.
and then we went to Burbank for 4
Yeah,
days.
How long is the convention?
3 days.
Yeah.
And it's at where?
At it was at a
Like that's
Burbank
Studio City,
hotel.
Burbank, right?
Yeah, it was right near the Burbank Airport.
Yeah,
It's a convention center attached to a
the
hotel.
Bob
I can't
Hope
remember.
Airport, I believe it's called, or is it now not Bob Hope and
I
just
think it
Burbank?
is
I don't
still.
know.
Yeah.
So it was like, I saw some amazing things. Got like walking around and being like, oh, there's Bill Curso and there's V. Neil and there's like, do you know what I mean? Like makeup heroes. Like,
Seeing prosthetics from some
applied.
of the gods.
yeah, like
doing their thing.
seeing V. Neil apply
Beetlejuice.
the Beetlejuice makeup was deadly. Like, where are you ever going to see that again?
No.
Mhm.
And so just
And for
and-
you-
and to get to chat with her
Yeah.
and to chat like, I met some really just awesome people. I saw them talk about Chucky, like the series.
Oh, nice.
So they were all there talking about
Really?
Chucky the series. Yeah, I went in there early because I was like, okay, I'm going to go in early, and then I'm going to go to the Tippit. Tippit was right after, so I sat in there for a bit, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to get fucked, and they're going to clear out the whole thing for the Tippit thing. So, and I was like, oh, this is sneaky deaky will work, but I'm gonna be true to be honest and like go out and wait in line. Lauren didn't know any of this, but so I went and I started the line. I made sure the line happened. Like I was like,
Hey, man,
I'm like,
yeah,
I'm gonna fan out. I'm like, fuck this. I'm gonna be first in line, and I'm starting this line. So I stood in line. It's like, no, this is the line. And then people were like, no, that's not a line. I was like, no, this is the line here. This is the line. This is the line here. And so by the end of it, there was a full line right through the whole thing.
That's impressive. That's
And I
like
was like-
starting a wave.
Yeah,
Very
I was like, no,
Canadian of
I'm
you.
not.
No kidding.
I'm starting a line. That's it. I'm not missing out on this. And I sat front and center.
That's
in
what
front
you
of
want. I
Tippit.
mean, that's what a fan does. They
Yeah.
start the line.
Yeah.
So, and then I bought the book already because I was like, okay, I'm going to buy this book before I have to deal with a line. So I bought the book.
The line drew the line controlled you.
Oh,
Everything was
I-
about the line.
I used to be like
It's
carefree
like an
and
episode
like
of Seinfeld.
not give a shit. Like I used to not give a shit about anything. And as I get older, I'm like, no, I give a shit. Like, I give a shit now.
You see value in what you're
Caring,
doing and
yeah.
caring, and you're a fan. So
Yeah.
you're like, I'm not gonna be drunk at this concert like
No,
I was
no.
when I was 20, right?
Right.
I want to
Pay
remember
attention.
90.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sitting front, center, he does his thing, and then I'm like, okay, I didn't ask any questions because I'm like, whatever. I don't want to be that guy. And
Well,
like,
he's a
what
grumpy
question-
Gus too. Like he's
he
not.
is. There's a caveat.
Is there
to
a
that, though.
soft side to?
Oh, 100%. It's a mask for sure.
Okay.
A well-deserved mask. But
Well, yeah. I mean, he watched his
The amount
career
of
burn
ner-
overnight.
yeah, and all these nerds talking about shit you did 20 fucking years ago. I'm like, that's not really what I'm into anymore. Do we not?
Yeah.
Can we not?
I've adapted.
Yeah. Can you?
I'm more than
yeah.
just.
Can I
that.
not talk about tauntauns right now? Can
Yeah.
we move on?
Yeah.
No,
Fuck.
smells bad on the outside.
Right? Like, I didn't want to be that guy. So I was like, I'm not talking about any of this because when he was talking, he was like, don't talk about Star Wars. Like on stage, I'm not talking about Star Wars. Don't ask Star Wars questions.
But okay, you know what though? When you want to, I've learned this because I'm practicing trying to get to a day where I maybe do sit in front of somebody who I'm very impressed by. And I mean, I have I got to interview Kevin Smith for Skip the Dishes.
Wow,
Right,
awesome.
right.
I've had my proof that I can do it.
Right.
And I sweated a fucking ton.
Yeah, dude.
I had to lock it in and be like, don't
But
be
he's
that
the most
guy.
chill dude.
But he is. He
He's
is
the most chill out
Yeah.
of most Hollywood people.
Well, and Skip gave me like 5 of my own that I could do whatever I wanted with that didn't have to tie into what they were doing. So
Right.
like I got to ask like
legitimate questions.
Let's talk about Moose Jaws.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like
right.
that's not Skip related.
Right.
So but I realized in that moment that I have all of these things that you've made me happy over
Yeah.
that you're now beyond.
Right.
Right? You did them,
Right.
but they live in infamy and perpetuity for me.
Right.
So if I want to talk to you, I have to be more open to you as a person
Mhm.
and not you as an idea of me, what I have.
Yeah.
Right.
My vision of you.
Back to Phil Tippit,
Yeah.
you know that you're like, I want to talk to you, but I want to talk
Mhm.
to you about what you like. Like, let's talk
Yeah.
instead of me talk at you and you impress me
Right.
all over.
Well, I had a really cool experience. So I stand in line to get the autograph of the book, and people are asking, and I didn't really want anyone else's autograph, to be honest, on the
Sure.
book, but I got it because I didn't want. I'm Canadian.
Sorry.
So, like,
Sorry. Can I have your autograph? Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So they all sign it, and then I get a tip. It is like, okay, yeah, I started my own studio. Do you have any things? It's like, I hope you love your work. It's like, perfect. That's what I got. I'm like, good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm good to go. Went and did another rounds. Talked to got to see Howard Berger. Got to do you know what I mean? Like, got to see some fucking names and just say hi.
Yeah.
Like, met some other cool cats that have started a group that started Force Seal that makes eyeballs. Anyway, talked to them.
It's your world.
It's my world. It's what I do outside of acting. So I was like, cool, great. I'm going to go home, call my wife. Can you come pick me up?
I was in the middle of my Target tour of
of Burbank.
Target.
all the Targets that I could get to in the time he was there.
So I'm sitting there and I'm just waiting, and then I sit down in kind of near the smoke area, and Tippit just comes and sits next to me. And I'm like,
oh my God.
and I'm just waiting for my wife, and I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing, man? And he's like, oh yeah, it was a great talk. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, we're actually opening up a studio in Canada, in Toronto. I was like, that's really cool. Like, I wish I did graphic stuff. I'm more of the practical, but that's great for you.
Yeah.
And then he just shot the shit. Like, just let him be a human
You talked
being.
to him.
Yeah, literally had a conversation while he had a smoke. And I was like, can I take a photo? And I'm like, and he's like, yeah. I was like, and I'm like, I'm gonna do grumpy faces. Like, that's all I do. Like, this is what he said. And I was like, yeah, great. Because I took a picture with Pauly Shore and he looks grumpy. So I'm like, from now on, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna be grumpy with it. With any celebrity, I'm just gonna look like unhappy and hope the celebrity looks happy. And I'm like, whatever. I guess I'll take this photo. So he did a grumpy face. I did a grumpy face. He's like, yeah, that's all I do. And then he's like, and then he told me a story about Clint Eastwood and how he only had 2 faces. Clint Eastwood, it's with a hat and without a hat, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and it was just really cool, like a really nice moment, and let him get on with his day. I got on with mine. It was just
And that's
amazing.
That's more beneficial for both parties.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, I'm just, you know what? The Tippit walks away and goes, that guy thinks I'm a human. He doesn't think I'm fucking Tippit.
Right.
Right. And I really think as much as the TV distorts shit, at the end of the day, when you realize you're like, hey, I'm in this, you're in this, we both share that, we have some common ground. Don't be an idiot. You can talk to a lot of different people.
Yeah, man.
And
I don't get starstruck very often. There's only a handful of people that I think I would be starstruck by.
I think I'm at that point where I'm like, I'm just surprised that we're having this interaction.
Sure.
I'm not starstruck by you. I'm like, okay, fine. You do what you do. And, it's not, you're not curing cancer. So I really am not out of my league.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of what you do. Talk about what I'm a fan of. Easy, done. But I'm just like, really? This is like to be present is what I wasn't present for Smith. I still, when I watch it, I'm like,
but that's
I
okay.
did that?
You can have a few of those people where you're like, I have just.
Oh, Eddie Murphy. If I ever met Eddie Murphy, I'd be like, I don't know what to say. Like,
fuck you too.
But then there's people who you don't realize you're a fan of, and then you see them, and then you're like I one time held the door at the bank in Toronto for Isabella Rossellini, and I didn't know it was her. I just was like coming out, and then I saw her, and she was like, "Oh, thank you," and she walked by, and I was like, Isabella. And I don't know why that came out, and I don't really know a ton of her work. I know she's amazing, but I can't like in the moment I wasn't like my favorite. Like, no disrespect to her, she's fantastic, but yeah, it was just one of those things where you're like, I'm surprised that I was so surprised to see you. Like, it's weird.
I was outside of Empire and needed a light, and my back was facing somebody, and I said, I need a light for a smoke, and I heard someone behind me say, here, and I turned over, and they did this, and I grabbed it, and I lit my smoke, and then when I turned around and gave it back to them, it was Bill Paxton.
Oh, wow.
I had like a 5-minute, Winnipeg's awesome, lots of art here, you guys aren't pretentious assholes, and I was like, you died in Terminator?
Yeah, right.
Predator?
Yeah.
And Aliens.
Right?
I was like, dude, you've died in the most amazing ways, in the most amazing series.
Yeah.
I was more shocked, and until after I was like, it didn't register until after.
And you had a good in, right? Because he made the in.
Exactly. It wasn't a
Same with Tippit, right?
can I. Whenever you go up to them, it's like, can I have some of your that I'm in love with? Yeah. You just had to smoke with a dude. Happened to be a dude that you really appreciate.
And I don't smoke, and I was just like, I'll eat this smoke. I'll eat it.
Cancer for Tippett.
Right?
He would have chewed a cigarette to chat with.
Yeah, man. That was really cool.
I also regret that we're approaching the end of the end. Yeah, I'm going to Activate after this.
Oh, are you?
I
First
love
time.
Activate.
That's
so
fun.
First
That's
time.
fun. I've never been. Lauren's been.
It's very fun.
I have a torn Achilles. I tore my Achilles years ago.
Perfect for Activate.
Yeah, but I haven't. Honestly, I did that pre-COVID. I haven't done any sort of rehab. Like, it rehabbed on its own. I did it in Las Vegas under hypnosis. What? As part of a comedy show.
You tore your Achilles that way?
I tore my Achilles.
Did you sign a thing?
I bought a ticket that said I signed a thing.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
wow.
I looked into it.
Did you?
I looked at the back of the ticket and was like, "Oh, this ticket says
Did
that."
Did it cover the? Sorry, we can talk about this off air.
It covered my free ticket when I went back the following year to Vegas. They were like, "We remember you. Here's a free pass." So whatever. But no, I was under hypnosis, and every time Irish music played, I would do a jig. I had to jig. Exactly. You've seen this bit. I jig, never. So I jig off the couch, and I jig right through my Achilles tendon in the middle of the performance. I come out of hypnosis thinking my leg has been chopped shorter. I think that's the bit, because that's what it feels like. It feels like this leg is shorter than this leg.
Oh my God.
And he's like,
technically would have been.
It would have been because it was less taut.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was my Achilles had snapped. I argued with him about what he was doing to me. He realized I fell out of the bit, pulled me off stage, was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm fine. I think I just pulled a calf muscle." Did another 18 hours in Vegas, walked the strip, went to the Heart Attack Grill the next day, got paddled in the ass, bent over a table because I didn't finish my meal, flew home. 2 weeks later, still hadn't healed, went to a doctor, misdiagnosed at an unnamed clinic in Winnipeg because I don't have insurance for the show, and then found out a month after that at a Amazinger clinic who I can definitely tell you at Legacy.
Okay.
They diagnosed me as a 98% tear, and the only thing that was hanging on was scar tissue.
Ugh.
And
Gross.
I had done it under hypnosis, so I wasn't aware of the action.
Right.
And I couldn't diagnose the problem. So the pain the pain that's associated with doing that and the actions, I associated with a shorter leg. So I always felt shorter after I fucked up my Achilles tendon
Ouch.
and walked with a shorter limp.
So what happens when you hear Irish jigs now?
I have PTSD.
Do you?
No, no,
I'm just
fine.
wondering, curious.
No, I'm fine. But it did happen, and Shauna was like, "Stay on stage, you're fine." Like, she was trying to take video of it. She's like, "This is the funniest." I took my shirt off. I was cuddling with a 70-year-old from Arizona because we were cold. Like, Shauna was. I was drunk as fuck going up there, and when it happened, I was still drunk. Like, I was drunk and under hypnosis, and didn't realize I'd done a thing.
Wow.
And then
I find it fascinating the people that do. Like my best friend is the same. Like
I'm very susceptible.
I'm not.
There's a very small percentage of us. I don't think it's a compliment. You're susceptible to manipulation, right? But it's being able to relax your mind to the point where someone else can slide in there and soft suggest. There is no 100% zombie control.
But there's also got to be like the like the person who's willing to be like, I'm gonna just do this shit.
Yeah.
You have to have that part of you too. where
You
it's
have
like,
to be
yeah,
an
let's
eager
do that fun.
participant for sure. I'll tell you more about it another time.
Yeah, please.
Anyways,
Wow.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You're come back anytime.
Yeah, man, I'd love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the coolest room in Winnipeg to talk about film.
Oh, dude.
In my opinion.
It's nice to actually be here
I
in
agree with
person.
you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's very nice to be in the same room finally. Because I built this and then barely got to use it for a really long time.
Right. Yeah. That
Was
makes
in here, but like nobody was in here, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Thank you, listener, for tuning into another episode. If this is your first time, like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is that lets you show up in your podcast player repeatedly. Fucking hit that button right now. And then
So do some research of your own, please, and really
Figure
figure
that
out.
Make it work.
yeah, Google it and and whatever it says, do it. And then we'll always show up in your podcast player each and every week. And then follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We do shorts on YouTube. That's what these will be.
Nice.
These will be mishmashed clips.
Nice.
So you'll be edited.
There we go. That's all we asked for.
In a very good light, you'll be edited.
Good. Make sure. Yeah, go with legal. Make sure and say all the stuff you said.
Yeah. We'll check. We'll check in with the earlier stuff before we go full cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook to stay in the know when shit like this is happening, when episodes are coming out, so on and so forth. It's Reel Debaters Pod, REEL for the spelling, and Reel Debaters Podcast on Facebook, and the Reel Debaters YouTube, Reel Debaters Shorts, I believe. It's in the fucking link in bio, kids. Don't make me do this. I'm hungry.
I gotta activate.
The worst part. I gotta go to activate now. I gotta have a snack before I go because I'm gonna fucking pass out in the middle of it. But again, my guests have been Aaron Merke and Lauren Cochrane, the comedy couple.
Yay!
The actors,
Thank
the makers,
you.
the creators.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Anytime. And you're gonna give me all your stuff that you
Sure.
want me to have in like the business stuff.
Check out
and,
stuff.
Yep.
all that stuff, so that people can continuously check out stuff when they trip over this episode.
Insta.
Stuff.
Watch.
Yeah, Lauren's just Insta, right?
I'm Instagram. Yeah, I'm in
in
Instagram.
your Insta and YouTube.
I'm Insta, YouTube, and then my website. I'm starting.
InstaYouTube.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you someone bought that.
Probably. Yeah.
I did.
InstaYouTube.com.
I did. I bought InstagramComedy.com.
How much was it?
$10. and then Instagram came after me.
Really?
Yeah.
How much did they pay you?
Nothing. They were like, you have to release it. The legal team came after me, so I was like, fuck it, I'm out. Peace. I relinquish.
That's interesting. Here, there's proof. I've signed it away. Leave me alone. I canceled my account. Watch all the movies, kids, and say bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.